No?
You said you were good to go.
Yeah. Hey, look.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Prismatic, Dragonfly, Tavern. We're glad to have you here this evening. I'm glad to be here this evening. We are going to go ahead and get right into our story tonight after a quick recap of what happened last week. But first, announcements. Still not time for RageCon, but we are not going to be on air next Sunday at 7 p.m. PST for Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern, but we will be on air next Sunday, 7 p.m. PST, for Like a Bard Out of Hell. One of the first things that we're going to do is kind of like Spooky Month, Halloween-ish celebrations. I am going to be running this one-shot by Winghorn Press, which is one of my favorite one-shots of all time, and I have run it 5 or 6 times, 6 times at this point, I think, and I love it. And I've got to run it through a different group like every single time. And I have a new group this time. So the lovely players here from PDT are going to be playing in Like a Bard Out of Hell. And we're going to have one guest, hopefully, as well. Yes, but we're not going to be streaming on Sunday. We're going to be recording it. So we're going to have a back episode, one of our episodes that we have secretly recorded of another one-shot that we're going to be airing. But, yeah. Say what?
I thought it was the 29th that we weren't streaming.
No, we might be doing both, but we have content. We have some one-shot content from amazing other DMs here that will be aired in that place, but soon on the channel or on the future date. You see this just going swimmingly. I had this all planned in my head, and then it fell apart as soon as I opened my fucking mouth. We will be doing Like a Bard Out of Hell. You're going to see it here on the channel at some point. It's the beginning of Spooky Month, though. And we have a bunch of other stuff that we will be streaming and be doing for Spooky Month as well. So please keep an eye out on our Discord, Twitter, all the different socials. Please follow us if you haven't, and please stop by Discord most of all so you can come hang out with us and see cool fan art and all sorts of jokes and cool things and stay up to date on Mythical Family projects. Oh, it's going to be a tough night for me. I'm going to have the giggles already.
We're off to an auspicious start.
Yes, we went off to an auspicious start. Anyway, last time on Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern, our intrepid adventurers continued their stay at the prestigious institute known as the University, the Quandir University, but it just goes by the University, that floats above Quandir in the sky, a couple thousand feet in the air, and has done so for the last 3,500 or so years. And our party found their way to the southern coast, found their way up to the university, and have we got a hydrate, or did you just tell me that? Oh, I heard.
There you go. There you go.
Much better after the random death. Our party has had some time to themselves to conduct a bit of much needed research. So from spending the night in the amazing main library of the university, where they were able to peruse multiple topics on different things that have been plaguing their brains for a little while, to the fact that they've met with a couple professors now. Professor Jesperos, the lead of the divinity wing of the university, and Professor Clementine, who is one of the lead professors over on the enchantment wing as well. And they've been putting pieces together and answering questions, and most of the time getting more questions too, about a multitude of things that they have wondered about since the beginning of the campaign, more recently. So it's been a lot of fun for me to give the answers out and see pieces clicking together, and I hope the players are having fun with it too. And we left off with their days of exploration and putting pieces together with dinner, because one of the party had decided to invite they can see that out of the corner of my eye. One of the members of the party, Vander, had invited a literal villain to the table with them, or at least, depending on your definition of the word, a villain. And they invited...
Bad guy.
Say what?
A bad guy.
A bad guy. But does not mean she is actually a bad guy. They invited Era, a mysterious individual that has been in their heads since the very first episode of the campaign. And they broke bread with the villain and talked. And it went about as good as you could expect, where they got some information. They probably got more than they wanted in certain areas, and when Era departed that table, there was a bit of a gloom hanging over it. Cass actually stood up and stormed off right before Era herself left, which left a very quiet Allele, Sani, and Vander left at the table. And that's actually where we're going to pick up. I was we can definitely do a time skip to the next morning and stuff, but there are a couple things that need to play out this evening, and because it was such a big conversation, even though you're down one party member at the table, I wanted to start there tonight in case there's anything to talk about, or if everybody just goes their own ways or something like that. But we pick up tonight at the tavern that you all have been staying at the university, which is like in the visitors area. You have 2 rooms above. You just had dinner with Era. Cass just walked off. Era just walked off, and the 3 of you were sitting there. So anything happen after the 2 leave the table? Besides Sonny glaring at Bender.
Why do you keep doing this?
Doing what?
Didn't break out into a fight, which honestly is better than I was expecting.
I didn't expect a fight, but oh, good gods.
What? You're looking at me funny.
It's just, I wish I understood how you came to some of these decisions sometimes.
I try to approach everything with a measure of understanding. And of course that doesn't work out sometimes, but it works out more than it doesn't. In any case. I'm gonna go check on Cass.
Someone probably should, yeah.
Yeah. Probably a good idea.
He's gonna get up and try and find her.
Okay. So you're gonna walk off. We'll stay with the table. The camera will stay with the table for now. What about you 2?
Well, I imagine you probably have a few more questions still.
I mean, it seems like a lot of that conversation was a surprise for you guys as much as it was for me.
Some of it.
Definitely questions I have, but I don't know if any of us have the answers to those questions. She talked a lot about this organization, and that's...
I wonder if it's connected to... I'll talk about that later, but...
You know,
some friends mentioned being helped by a group that kind of matches what Era was describing. It makes me wonder just how spread this really is, because that would kind of back up her claims.
she certainly talked about it. Like, it seemed like something with a lot of hands and a lot of pies. So I guess the question is, how much of that do we feel is true?
That often is the question, isn't it? Maybe I will see if I can find out anything, but the gods don't always understand things the way we all do, so even if they have an answer, it might not be clear.
Yeah. I hear that the gods tend to be fickle.
Mine are... I can't speak for the Inlander gods. Mine... They love us, but sometimes they just do not fully grasp the way we see the world.
They don't understand your point of view on things.
It is more they, they are not like us, so there are some things that just, as much as we try to understand them, they cannot really be bridged.
I mean, it sounds like going and talking to them is... I mean, we're being guided there by a lot of different things, including Era, which, if I'm being honest, that concerns me more than it gives me hope. But
that is, I don't know how I feel about that.
But it also seems to be the only thing we have to go on right now.
Yeah. I guess we just give Skalea some time to catch up and see what else we can find out here. I don't think we'll be able to stop Era, whatever she's doing.
And she already got such a head start on whatever it seems like she's gotten whatever she needed out of this. She didn't seem concerned about us at all. So she seems like she's gotten whatever she needed out of all this.
There's that, and I worry she seems so convinced that we'll come around to her way of thinking.
Reactions of definitely you and Cass. I think she's in for a hard sell. can't say I'm on board with her way of thinking either. So
That's good.
I mean, we know Vander's Vander.
What does that mean?
You're not there. Shut up.
You know what it means?
In the distance. What is that?
He's a very sweet man. It would be nice if the world worked the way he wished it does.
It would be lovely. We'd all want that for sure, but I think he has a harder time seeing that it doesn't work that way than the rest of us do. But I guess it's good to have him around, because he gives us a chance to see that kind of point of view.
Yeah, I mean,
But I don't know. I think even if there was a time when maybe her organization had good ideals, sounds like maybe they've gotten off the rails.
it could be so. I guess we'll just have to see what we can find out.
Yeah. I guess we should go find Cass with Vander, and we can all figure out what we're doing.
Yes, let's see how that's been going.
Yeah.
Ooh, not what I thought you two were gonna do. That's interesting. Okay, so while that's happening, camera cut. So where did Cass go?
Cass is stalking towards the divinity school, specifically to their library.
Okay. Well, considering the layout of the university and the fact that it's late, it's not really hard for Vander to see you in the distance and follow you. So Vander would just trail you and eventually catch up whenever Vander wanted to. So it's up to you if you waited to see her destination or you just ran and caught up with her.
Probably the latter.
I know.
I feel like it's a canonical.
Yeah, no, I figured that's what would
Vander
happen. We're just presenting the options for you. So yeah, you get, you storm off. You have like a minute or two-ish head start. And then about 5 minutes later total from when you left the table, Vander shows up, just walking next to you.
Hi. I'm just gonna look at you.
Are you okay?
No.
You want to talk about how you're feeling? I want to understand how you thought about all of that.
Well, are you asking how I'm feeling about my entire worldview being pulled into question and everything I've ever been taught being a lie?
We don't know if it's true.
Well, we're gonna find out, but that's a pretty bold claim. And
Exactly.
so I want some answers.
And it makes sense to want those answers.
Yeah, so we're gonna get that because I don't know. She seemed real certain about it, like real convinced. And just, is it real? Is it known? Is this all a giant conspiracy cover-up thing?
What I believe is that she believes what she's saying. It does not necessarily mean it is the entire truth, but with everything that she's been telling us and what we know, and everything that she's shared with us, there is at least a little piece of the truth, but it, of course, could be skewed.
Yeah, but how did she come to think this truth, know this truth? How much is the truth? Who knows about this? Does the Aether clan know about this? Does Hylor know about this?
I don't know those answers, but
I didn't expect you to know those answers.
rhetorical, yes, that's true. I will help you look.
Great. How do you feel about breaking into a library if needed?
I swear to God, you're really gonna roll for this?
100 roll?
Ah!
You can't get enough of them.
I would be glad.
I should really just force you to make that as a character decision, but I like the 100, so.
No, that's the thing. It's a 50-50.
Okay,
Like, it
that's fair.
depends.
That's fair, that's fair.
So I rolled 50.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, you're good, you're good, sir.
If it helps find the answers you were looking for, I'll take the risk for you.
Excellent.
Another question as we're going along. Before we
Great
commit to
plan. I
crime,
like it. Just one question.
what did you write to her?
Nothing.
Obviously you did. I saw it.
That's right. He was the only one that did.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We're the only one.
Yeah, Vanner was the only one that saw it.
I thought Snotty saw it too.
No, we both didn't see it.
Yeah. It was just you.
Oh fuck. Okay. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm just curious. Is everything okay?
Yeah, everything's fine.
But why wouldn't you? If there's something you want to talk to her about, why wouldn't you tell us too?
Just nothing.
Are you joining her weird forces?
Why would you phrase it like that?
It's this weird, like, WYRD, like, weird forces.
I feel like that says yard without the A.
Oh, there's some sort of a spelling that's, like, specifically, like, witchy, weird. But, I don't know. Or, yeah, no. No, just told her we should talk more.
I mean, I think that's the plan, right? To talk to her more? This is going over his head.
Just, I don't know. I don't know. That's not the important part right now.
Okay, well, consider me glad to hear that you're not joining her weird force thing, cult, organization.
There's already one cultist in the party.
He's not worried about that one. This was okay. Where are we going? What are we looking for?
Are you able to pick locks?
God.
He has attachments for his porcelain hand.
He's
Yeah.
like, it cranks and turns into a key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ring
Um,
finger turns into a key.
I'm pretty dexterous.
Go
and
gadget
good with
for
my
one.
hands.
That's good, because I'm realizing that I don't have a lockpick set. So that involved probably busting a window. Hopefully it'll be open, though. I don't know.
Yeah, you're good.
I don't know. A school about the gods. Like, it seems like you would want that open at all times, because who knows when you're going to have a divine crisis.
A divine Christ.
I don't think there's anything wrong, or I don't think anything is questioning your religion, your belief. The Xiphoid is real. It gives us magic.
Yeah, no, that part's not. But, like, the narrative is it just showed up. It brought magic. This was new. And now
Mhm.
it's, no, this all used to exist beforehand. Possibly. And it came for a reason. So, like, how did it get there? What brought it? And, like, Edwin is the worst person ever.
He's very extreme.
Yes, because he stopped magic. Now it's like, oh no, this used to be a bunch of people in power. There was like a council of Edwin who decided we're going to get rid of magic. Enough people died in that short amount of time because we could like revive them or heal them or whatnot. And this happened there, like on a grand global scale. Like, it was bad enough Edward was just kind of confined to his area.
There's a lot of questions.
So many questions, so many implications.
Don't let it shake you in what you believe in, is all I would suggest.
How can it not?
I mean, how it came to be doesn't negate that it's here.
Yeah.
I'm not too religious myself in that regard. I don't worship any singular god or
I don't
goddess.
worship the Xiphoid.
But
I made a vow to the Xiphoid. It's not a god.
isn't that the same?
No. It's slightly different. I don't like pray to the Xiphoid and be like, mighty rock, give me strength.
Well, of course not. But you still sort of worship it in a way, because you gave a vow to it.
I made a vow to a source of power for power.
That's what they do to gods. You
But I
make a
don't-
vow to a god to get power from the god. Semantics.
Semantics.
Well, then in that case, I'm the only truly religious person in the world because it's the only thing that's really real. I mean, the rock, like all the other gods.
God earlier, right? Or
Called out.
right now.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's only a god because of the magic rock. I don't even know about Sani's gods. We're not going to even talk about that. Maybe Sani's gods are also like from the Xiphoid, and they're like, we're gonna also lie to everyone and be like, we've been around forever.
Let's go.
Ignore-
Let's go.
Or Sani's gods are the proof that everyone is lying to us. And in my
I'm gonna say that's when you two get within earshot. As her voice is climbing up.
Is everything all right over there?
it's fine.
She's having a religious crisis.
Oh.
Oh,
World
Okay.
crisis. Existential crisis. Let's go with that. Existential.
I see. Huh.
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna
About
go.
the Xiphoid thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna go look for books on.
The origins of the Xiphoid, where it came from, what gods were before. Does anyone have like?
This would be considered
Something.
profane, so we are theorizing that we have to break in somewhere.
Would it be
Hey.
profane?
Didn't you spend like the entire night in the library?
I mean, the main one, yes, not a specific schools.
Oh, okay. I guess that's true. We were in the public library. So.
And you just caught up with them at the entrance to like the Divinity Island or the Divinity Wing,
Uh-huh.
which is very familiar because you guys spent most of the day here.
Yeah.
So
No, we were in the divination.
you were in the what?
We were in the
Divination, not
divination.
divinity. Sorry.
You're in
Very
the
close.
Divinity Wing?
Yes.
Divination.
Okay. I mean, it's kind of the same wing. So
They're immediately adjacent.
Yeah. Alphabetically speaking.
yeah.
It's like those buildings in
That's how
college
it's
where like
arranged.
these were 3 separate colleges, but then they have basically hallways connecting all of them.
Yeah.
All right. Is this library open?
Yes, as you guys continue to talk loudly and walk, you see that the library is lit up from the inside. The doors are flung open and people are
Were you
walking in
talking
and out.
about your plan to break into the library at the same volume that we heard you guys? Okay.
All right. Cass, are you okay?
I'm great.
No. But I think we should just help her look.
Okay. And what are we looking for?
Anything related to gods of the pre-Xiphoidian time, and theories on where the Xiphoid came from.
I mean, I could tell you about some of those.
Ah.
But are your gods actually older than the Xiphoid, or are they just lying?
I mean,
Let's take
we don't
that
know
back
that.
a second.
We don't know that yet.
that might
we
be
don't know anything
mean
about
to
that.
say.
I don't know, because like who knows? Maybe Fade is lying to us all too. Maybe she's not even divine.
Who?
Fade.
Oh, sorry, I heard something else. Okay. Let's. I know you're upset, but let's be sensitive to other people's beliefs as well.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Not the first inlander who doesn't believe us, so
If it helps, I believe you.
thank you, Mander.
I'm gonna go look for areas that might be more restricted to higher class students, or like quite literally the profane section.
Yeah.
The profane section.
So this library is much smaller than the general library. It's a 2-story building, but it's a very small building. 2 floors, staircases on either side in the back. There's about 5 students actively in here right now, and it looks like 1 faculty member at a desk. It's very, very brightly lit, probably the most brightly lit building you've been in here so far. There's candles everywhere, and it seems like magically enchanted chandeliers hanging. There is kind of the feeling of a church to it a little bit. It is made of like common stones that you would find in churches, like stone pews and stuff like that. And there's a lot of drawings and depictions of different gods around here. Beautiful works of art, all ones that you vaguely heard of. Because as a refresher for both the audience, and everybody, as far as given history goes, there were no gods before the Xiphoid. After the Xiphoid struck, there was eventually gods that started to pop up. And the working theory that is public knowledge is that when the Xiphoid struck Treetop, it killed people because obviously Treetop is densely populated. And some of the people killed by the Xiphoid, for some unknown reason to this day, ascended when they got hit by it. But that also means you get people like Distu, who's a demigod and is not godly in the slightest kind of thing. So you got random gods almost. But yes, you can set off and look for a profane section or something. I know the gist of what you're putting down. What about everybody else?
And then to further clarify, since it hasn't come up for a bit, Sani's gods basically like her religion claims they've always been there. They were just very, very quiet for a long stretch.
Or so they claim.
They were just trying to see how everything played out.
Yeah. I'm just gonna start browsing.
To start browsing? Okay.
Yeah.
What about you two?
Kind of just get lay of the land. I don't really have as much frame of reference for some of the stuff as the characters that more grew up around it. So it's like, maybe over here?
Okay, so just kind of looking around. What about you, Leo?
I'm gonna go up to a staff member because I have no idea what I'm looking at around here.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna ask them about looking for books on the history of the Xiphoid, mostly like the starting history of the Xiphoid, the arrival and theory around that.
Yeah.
You know,
The
written history, theoretical stuff. Yeah.
The staff member is an older human lady with long black hair that's up in a frizzy ponytail, and she seems tired but very excited by your questions, like customer service, plus probably just enjoys her job a little bit. And she thinks for a second and goes, there's a lot of, we have a section, second floor, right staircase at the top, and it's all collected work and research papers on the Xiphoid. You have to understand a lot of it's speculation, just because we still don't truly know a lot. But it sounds like what you're looking for, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long time ago. You know, only so much of it can get passed down accurately. So.
Well, and there is Treetop being somewhat isolationist to prevent actual research from going on. But
That's true. No, yeah, thank you. And then I'm gonna go back and find Cass. Like, hey, I think this is maybe where you want to start looking.
I'm like
take a look.
reading a random book about this too, and I'm like, this is not providing answers. That sounds bad.
Okay, so you both head up the right staircase to the indicated section. It's clearly labeled, just like everything in the library. And there's probably 2 densely packed shelves that fall into the Xiphoid category. It's going to take you like an hour, probably, to at least go through and get an idea of the titles of the book and a brief summary of them. Kind of a guess at the contents before you pick some to dive into. But nothing really surprises you for the most part from what you're seeing. There's multiple authors writing different historical accounts the night the Xiphoid fell. There's a lot of different theories about where it came from, that it was sent from a god far away, that it was a magical creation summoned by the druids of Treetop to bring magic to the world. There's a lot of theories about them. And at first they seem pretty normal, but some of them get pretty crackpotty pretty fast, especially for a university library. But they all seem like they're, written by people that have put some research into it, but there's a lot of interpretation there for it. So you can spend some time there, and we'll see if you learn anything else.
On the theory that it was summoned by the Treetop Druids.
Yes.
I'd like to investigate that one just a little bit of like, how were the Druids in a pre-magical society able to summon a Xiphoid according to this author?
After reading the first chapter, you see that the author kind of came to that same conclusion, that it would have been ridiculous, but there are folklore tales of the Druids having an innate connection to nature that the more that you read about it, it really does seem kind of frou-frou. Wherever these stories were coming from, it does seem more like folklore and wishing for something like that, because it doesn't really line up with anything you experienced in Treetop, and it sounds very fairy tale-esque, that it just doesn't really make sense of how any of it could have happened. But the author was doing a due diligence and following through on it.
Okay.
So.
Are there any published books by Professor Sinon?
Funny that you should ask. Sinon actually does have a book published in this section.
Okay.
It's simply titled Observations of the Xiphoid, Volume 1. It doesn't look like there's any other volumes here right now, at least. And that one is very well researched and has a lot of, as far as you can tell, hand-drawn sketches in it. And Cass would probably notice if you pointed it out or was looking over your shoulder or saw it at any point that they're very accurate drawings of the Xiphoid. And you've heard descriptions of it. It's a meteor, like it's a giant meteor. But you've heard descriptions of it being kind of jagged and shard-like, and the images seem to match as far as you can tell. And it seems to be very clinical, like boringly clinical almost, of like impact site estimated to be 250 feet surface of the Xiphoid. It starts out being very clinical about it, but it does seem like somebody that was actually there and got their hands on it from what you've been able to glean in the first couple chapters.
Gotcha.
We have proof he was there then.
Yeah. I certainly, I mean, you know that better than I would.
Yeah, no, it's all accurate.
These are pretty detailed accounts if they weren't there.
Yeah, he'd be making up a lot of shit if he hadn't been there. But thankfully, this is accurate. So we know he was there. We know he's a terrible writer because he should be able to make this way more interesting. But that might be why he doesn't have tenure.
Ooh.
Well, he's not a literary arts professor.
Scientist.
When you're passionate about something, you can make it sound exciting. This man is clearly has no life to him.
I think Cass just told the professor to touch grass.
Jeez.
So I actually did have an idea of something Sonics would specifically be looking for.
Mhm.
If any inlanders have written about her people and their practices. Just to see if there's been any outside perspective on what her cult gets up to.
Say what? Yes. Go ahead and roll it.
Yes.
Do it.
Like a D100 pusher.
I love it.
62?
It's my favorite.
You find a collection of journals, and they stand out to you because they're not the size of a full-bound book, especially the standard size of book in this library. They're very thin, about a quarter of an inch, and they're leather-bound. They smell of brine, and they're all on one shelf together. And it does look like, at some point, a researcher unaffiliated with the university, as far as you can tell from the brief glance, J. Duncan Spaeth, they observed your island from a distance for a period of 2 years, and they conducted a very thorough sort of research on the peoples there and their culture, and they made contact multiple times as well. So you have 5 journals to read through to truly figure everything out, but they would probably catch your eye and be something you'd want to look into.
Definitely. And like, how old do these, like, is there any mention of like when these observations took
Oh yeah,
place?
it's dated. It was about 170 years ago.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to take a look at these tonight.
Okay, perfect. And then Vander. As you kind of do the loop around the bottom floor of the library and then go up top, and you'll probably walk by the 2 of them at some point, and you'll see Sonny. It's not that big. You find a section. And the reason that this section catches your eye is it looks at some point like this section in the top left corner of the 2nd floor did have bars around it. Like, it looks like you could have easily blocked this corner off and put a gate up kind of thing. And at some point there was something there, and you can see the fact that it's been removed. How long ago it was removed, you don't really know. But it's removed. And the shelf that is behind where the gate would have been is esoteric at best, because all the books are different shapes, sizes, colors, qualities of bindings. And other than that, it's just more of the shelves, but it looks like something was here at some point, or these books were locked up at some point.
I'll see if I can't find anything on the Xiphoid.
And you're just looking for Xiphoid information in general?
Pre. Or early
I think
Zyphoid.
something
Yes.
world history
Yeah,
related.
world history related. You these books, some of them you can't actually read because they're in languages that you don't speak. What languages do you speak? I always forget.
Let me see. That's not it. Common, Elvish, Giant, Sylvan.
Okay, so a large portion of the books you can read, but there are some that seem to be in Draconic and other languages that you don't read. And it seems to be family like diaries. It seems to be like in the diaries of individuals, the diaries of families, hand-bound, hand-bound books that were bound poorly because it's somebody doing it that doesn't really know what they're doing, and like a book of bedtime stories from a family. All of these seem to be like personal books from somebody. None of these were published. None of these are research papers. This is all like a slice of life from the world in a way. So when you look at them, you'll immediately start finding references to some talk about the Zyphoid, and some of them are older than that, and they talk about, they use the term wild magic, and it's not like anything special. They just use the term wild magic instead of talking about Zyphoid. But they seem like they were from a very long time ago. And a lot of these books have been like water damaged or look like they've been read to death kind of thing. So you find a smattering of slice of life and folklore.
I'll pluck the ones that mention wild magic.
Okay.
And I will also seek any of the diaries that seem particularly old, like before the Zyphoid fell.
Okay.
If there's if the dates are on them, of course. And then
Yeah.
I will specifically seek out any names that are treetop in origin, specifically your last name and my last name.
Ooh. Okay. Roll a D100.
I love those.
I had no idea.
I'm so
75.
happy we're rolling the 100s all night.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
75. if you need
75.
me.
You got it.
You find $75.
Yeah, you find 75 bucks.
bucks.
Oh God.
It's gonna take you 75 hours. To...
Yes, 1 hour per book. That's pretty good. Like
Like
got-
it's
The
giving it the
peruser.
good,
He's not like
Yeah.
it's the
memorized.
grad school read of like table contents, intro.
Yeah.
I
There
do
you
that.
yes,
Go through index and glossary.
Yep.
yes. So, look, you have a decent understanding of history through the life that you have lived, and you know the relevant dates from the actual timeline of the world. So, the Zyphoid fell quite a while ago, about 3,000 years ago at this point. And based on the dates, you are able to determine that one of the diaries that you find, just one, is technically before the fall. That is the one that mentions wild magic, and actually that's the only one that's mentioned wild magic. So that's the one that you found. You found one specific diary that specifically is dated. That one is dated 3468 BF, which is before fall. 3468 BF.
Oh my gosh. I love it when it goes 468.
Well, when it goes 468.
Even numbers.
Oh, okay.
Three,
I'm
four,
so
six,
confused.
eight. Who do we appreciate? The Zyphoid.
And yes, so for some notes that you can take down with this, Ray, the diary you found is from 3468 BF. The Zyphoid fell in 6323. And then dates after that are referred to as AF for after the fall. So the Zyphoid fell a while after that diary, so that diary is ancient at this point. And you also find a book that is much more recent, because by the way, the current year is 9341 AF.
Oh my gosh.
This is on the pinned timeline in your chat channel. This is all just from the public timeline.
Current year
But
is
the current year is 9341 AF.
okay.
And just because I'm giving timelines, and for anybody, the audience, the small, wonderful audience that we have, and for my players, one of the last two big historical events in the timeline, which are dates that you should know, and keep coming up in these conversations, is in 9338 AF, a couple years ago, the suffocation of the lay is the formal name of what happened. In an act that is still not fully understood, Edwin, a human wizard from the nation of Alsap, corrupted the flow of magic by altering the ley lines of Akora themselves, cutting off most of the enchanted empire of Elion from the natural flow of magic overnight. And that's from Alsop, or Edwin's from Alsop. And then in 9340 AF was Edwin's fall. The heroes of Arlia, Anomaly, Kara, Dakaleth, and Marsuvius managed to defeat Edwin in a pitched battle at his fortress buried in the Chesil Peaks. Shortly after his defeat, the heroes somehow reversed the perversion of the world's ley lines, restoring the natural flow of magic to those it had been stolen from. And you're about a year after that happened. So just to give the timeline some pieces to make a little bit more sense. But yeah, you found that one ancient book that mentions wild magic. And then you sound like you just grabbed some of the folklore ones, right?
No, I specifically grabbed the ones that mentioned wild magic.
Okay, so it's just that one. So
Just
you
that
got that one.
Yeah, and then I was looking for any treetop books
Any treetop books?
based on her last name and my
yeah.
last name specifically,
Yes.
but any treetop name.
Yes.
Or, Scalea's last name, which is Tilner Mullen.
Thank you. Solar Mullen as well.
Definitely know Scalea's last name. No one's ever forgotten it.
Not at all. You don't find anything for you and Cass, but because of that last second save, you can find one on Tilner Mullen.
Pick it up.
Okay, so you got 2 books that you found.
Okay.
So everybody has been successful in finding some books. Are you going to camp in the library again tonight, or what are you guys doing? Are you going back to your rooms, or gonna meet up? What you doing?
Castle camp in the library.
I don't need to sleep, so I'm not in any rush. I can stay here until they kick me out, assuming they close.
Well, I do need to sleep, and I don't know much about the Xiphoid, nowhere near as much as you guys do. So I think I'm
And
gonna
you
get
probably
some
know
rest.
more than I do.
I will come with you.
Okay,
Before I leave, though, for me,
I mean-
I'm going to give you that book.
you can hang on to
Okay.
the sending stone, and
If anything
you
comes
guys
up, I'll
need
let you
anything,
know.
you can yell at us, and we'll come down.
Of course.
This book is pre-Xiphoid. Mentions something called wild magic.
Like, same wild magic, why you're covered in lavender and I have a tail. Do I still have a tail?
Do I still grow lavender?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
You
It
still
hasn't
have
even been 24
you,
hours.
Yeah, you
Okay,
still
I
have the
imagine
tiny
at
flowers
most it's
dotted
gonna be
in your
tomorrow.
fur, and you still have the tail.
I know some wild magic effects are like for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't sure if this was for an hour or for 24 hours.
You don't know how long it is.
Or forever.
Yeah.
But yes, that's a good question. Is when I was reading through this journal, does it seem like it's describing wild magic as we currently know it, or is it like just like a predated term for current magic in the Xiphoid?
That one. It is.
The latter?
They use the words wild magic in place of what you would now use, like the weave or the Xiphoid
okay.
sort of thing. Yeah.
It looks like this terminology is used for what we know as the weave.
Okay. So I'll be reading that book along with the stuff I grabbed. Do you give me the Tilner Mullen book too?
He's
Okay.
gonna look at that first.
Cool.
Cool. Okay. So it sounds like Alil and Vander are gonna go back to the inn to get some shut eye, and our 2 Inhumans are gonna stay behind and stay up for a while. Okay. Cool. Well, you 2 make your way back to the inn. There's still, there's always people downstairs eating from the automated golem. But you make your way up to your rooms, and you each were in separate rooms. And when you get to the top of the stairs, because you guys have rooms on the 2nd floor that are close to the top of the stairs, you notice that both the doors to your rooms are open a crack.
What the? You think someone might have been in our rooms?
And I didn't leave the door open. The only person who's been up here since we left this morning was Kaz.
Should
She
we
wouldn't
go?
have gone in both.
Yeah. Should we go in both or one at a time?
I'm gonna sneak over and peek into the door to the first room.
Make a stealth check.
Uh-huh.
23.
Oh, geez. Yeah, so you creep silently over there, avoiding the one floorboard that you know that squeaks.
That one
Because
squeaky one.
Been
I've
up,
hitting
been
the
up and
morning
down
and
these stairs a couple times. And are you looking in, like, which room? Is it the room that Sick and Vander were going to be in, or is it the other room?
No, the one that I was thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you glance through the crack, and thankfully it's just enough that you can get some vision in the room without having to open it. And you look, and you see that the window's open in the room as well, and there's a bit of a breeze blowing, and it looks empty.
Okay.
But you do see there's a pile on something on the beds, on each bed in the room.
Okay. No one's in that room. Do you want to peek in the other room?
I'll go peek.
Make a stealth check.
Oh my gosh.
Unless Vander's not being stealthy.
You know, he would be stealthy.
What do you...
Vander kicks open the
What did
door.
the dice say? Let's roll a d100.
The dice say I am 23.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
You
Good
know to
grouping.
avoid that board as well. Yeah. And so, it's probably somewhat fascinating for you out of the corner of your eye seeing the 8-foot plus tall Furblog move with such
I
grace.
didn't know you could move like that,
He's
fur
a
boy.
monk. Oh, did you say that as your character?
Yeah.
It's my job.
You do a lot of sneaking?
Well, not necessarily. Moving
Look at the- look at the-
gracefully.
look at the-
You see the same thing. The window in the room is open, and there seems to be something on one of the beds in the room. A pile of something.
Swing the door open.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna open the door and go in
Okay.
to the room and turn a light on if there's, a lamp I can.
Yeah, you guys have lamps in there. You both would notice a couple of things. So number one, you would notice that the door between the rooms is open. So you step in and you can see each other like a few steps in because the door is open. It smells really crisp in here. Like the window has been open a while. Like you don't smell any other smells except the outside.
Yeah.
So the window's probably been open for a while. So each room has 2 beds. And in the room that you're standing in, there is a pile of clothes and personal objects, it looks like, as far as you can tell in the dim light, on one bed. It was the bed that you sat on with Era, so the probably the farthest close to the window bed. And then in the room that you're in, there's a couple piles on each bed. Personal objects that look like they have notes on top of them.
Notes on top.
You see a little piece of paper on the piles.
Are the piles like personal
Interesting.
effects of each of us individually or just random?
It's just a couple random things. So I assume you also turn a lamp on and walk over? Okay. So starting with your end, you immediately recognize what's in the pile, and your pile is the biggest technically because it's all of 6 clothes. So it's the stuff that Era was actually wearing. So there's like the boots, the pieces of elvish armor and stuff like that. She already gave you the belt with the rapier, but Sick wears a bracelet on one hand, and then she has like a random pinky ring and stuff like that. And it's like all the things she took from Sick. Gold purse too, like all, because she was fully dressed as her. So it's a pile of everything. And there's a small note on top that says Vander. In the other room, there is a really big tome, like spellcaster sized tome with yellowed pages, black and red cover on it. It smells musty even with the window being open this long. That is sitting on the bed closest to the door and has a piece of paper with your name on it, actually. Additionally, spread between the 2 beds, there's a really old scroll that looks like it's about to fall apart, but this isn't like a spellcasting small scroll. This is like this could probably fill a table. That one is on one of the beds with a little note that says Sonny on it. That one also looks like it might be like a longer note that can be unfolded. And that's it. So there's two in that room and one in that room.
Yeah.
Crack open our letters.
Is it like is there more writing, or is this just have our names on it, or are these like a folded piece of paper that looks like it's got more inside it to say?
Are you opening both of them, or are you?
I'm only gonna touch the one with my name on it.
Okay.
Mine.
Okay. So you pick yours up. Yours is a single-sided piece of paper, so it's your name beautifully calligraphied on there. And if you flip it over, there's a small note, and the short note on the back says, "Figured you'd like to enhance your practice a bit. Era."
Okay. Hey, Vander.
Yes.
You get left presents too?
I don't know if this is a present.
You open yours, and has your name beautifully calligraphied on it, and the note reads, I actually have to bring up the note just so I don't mess it up. Thank you as if I don't prepare this shit. Thank you for a lovely dinner. Wanted to make sure you had all this back before the grumpy bitch shows up. I hope you have a good night. By the way, she's an excellent kisser. I see why you like her.
She kissed my girlfriend!
Dash Era. That was your takeaway. Yeah, I like that.
That's the thing.
You just hear like an indignant gasp from the other side.
I mean, that would explain how she got ambushed.
Oh yeah, yeah. That would explain that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. He's gonna go about folding all of his clothes and making it neat.
Adjusted. Well, she left them folded. She
Oh,
left
she
it.
did?
She left everything very nicely presented for you. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Never mind then.
She's a villain. She's not a.
She has standards.
Yeah.
My girlfriend. She's not a fly.
What about you, Alil?
Do we have like a fireplace? In the
You
room?
do. You do.
Okay. I'm gonna throw the note in the fireplace. I mean, doesn't have much for me.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to grab the sending stone and say, "Hey, Sonny. Someone left a present for you."
That sounds threatening.
I'm not sure it's not a threat.
Like, just started out of reading one of the journals. Like, can you explain a little more?
Era clearly broke into our rooms. And she left presents for you and me. One of them has your name on it, so I don't know what it is. I mean, it looks like an old scroll.
Cass, I need to check something in our room.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Are you sure you want to study here? I'm pretty sure we can take the books.
No, here feels good.
Do you need anything before I go?
No.
Toss
Hey.
the sending stone to Cass. If
By the
anything
way.
comes up.
Also, I'm sorry. I was angry and all that. I don't actually think your gods were lying to you, and that was a mean thing to say.
Thank you. You know, this was a lot, and we don't really know what the answers are right now, but I appreciate that.
It just like raised a smug little Vander smile in the corner of yes, they're doing the right thing. They're talking.
Yes. Primary communication.
There are lots of things I don't mind being questioned on. That one is a sore spot.
Understandable. Understandable.
All right, well, I'm going to go see what the hell's going on back at the inn. Keep that. Anything comes up, let us know.
Yeah. Everything, like, what do you mean you have to check on stuff? Like, is everything okay?
Apparently, there is something for me in our room.
In a good way? Or,
Not yet. I'm going to go find out.
hey, yeah, let me know.
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
While Sonny's making her way up, without opening the book, I'm gonna look at the book and see what I can determine of it before
And Sonny wants to continue researching this journal, so she just signs whatever she needs to
Yeah,
sign
she
them
can.
out for the
She
evening.
can check them out. Yeah. You pick this book up. It has weight to it. This thing is. It has weight to it in the way that you immediately clock that it's heavier than it should be, sort of thing. That it has an enchantment on it. Maybe it's made of some really dense material, but like it shouldn't be this heavy. But you pick it up. It's not like you can't. It's just you have to put a little bit more effort into it. And as you're looking at it, the design on it is very much something that you would find in like Egvir's house. It's very giant adjacent or giant made.
Gotcha.
Tome of Stowe 45 caliber.
Yeah. Open it up. It's just a gun.
It's half pints rifles.
Just shoved in a weird angle. Like somebody did it in a hurry.
Yep.
Okay. Is there anything written on it? Or?
Nope, not on the outside.
I'll wait for Sonny.
Okay, well you can wait for Sonic.
Now that I know that somebody knows somebody who knows magic stuff.
Yeah. Well, Sonny will arrive as long as there's nothing you and Vander are going to talk about in the meantime.
So, what did you get?
Oh yeah, you heard the gas, but nothing else.
Yeah.
I got a note that told me she kissed my girlfriend.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, I guess that would make sense. That's probably how she got the drop on her. I'm not saying that,
No, I know.
I'm not condoning
I
it.
know. No.
I'm just saying, okay, now we can put the puzzle pieces of the puzzle together. And I mean, admirable that you're so upset about it. And I'm sure Sick will find that very, very touching. Did anything else? Anything?
Not really.
Okay,
Nothing of import in comparison to that.
Yeah, that's certainly the most important thing on the note.
She just said thanks for the dinner.
Oh, okay. She's a real smug piece of work, ain't she?
Yeah.
She's a real smug piece of work. What did you get? What did she look at the bed? And
Her clothes.
I'll recognize parts of it, but
Oh, you're in. Okay, I thought we were just shouting.
no. I've come into the room. We're not just shouting back and forth over the wall at whatever the time of night it is.
What did you get?
There's an open door between
What
the
does
rooms.
mine say?
So, and I'll be like, she just gave you the clothes back? She didn't give you anything else?
Not that I can see. And he'll rummage, I guess.
Okay, so you break the stack up and look through it.
Yeah.
Okay, make a perception check.
There you go through her purse.
17.
17. So you kind of ruffle through it a little bit because it was nicely stacked, but Alil has a point, and you just in your state kind of push through it and see, and you recognize pretty much every single thing in there except one that sticks out oddly to you. And Sick wears stud earrings and she changes between a few sets, but she doesn't wear big earrings or anything. And you notice a singular kind of gold back-swept feather earring. There's just one of them, and it sticks out because it's not her style as far as you know.
Pick it up and look at it.
It just
General distaste. Judging this poor earring.
Yeah.
The earring can't be held responsible for the actions of its master.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
It's a beautiful, very detailed gold feather backswept earring, and it looks like there could be small arcane runes on there as far as you can tell. There's a faint shimmer to it, but other than that, you don't know.
Can you read these?
I'll look at them. Do the runes make any sense to me? I mean,
Shit. Shut up. Shut up. They do actually. It's once again kind of like the vending machine downstairs where you have to piece certain pieces together.
I can get maybe a gist of
yeah,
rough idea
you have to
maybe
take
what
it over
might-
to a lamp and just be like, what the?
Yeah.
And it looks like it's a version of a sending stone.
This might be
That's a call
a
me.
sending mechanism.
She kissed my girlfriend. What's next?
I mean,
Call me.
she's already kissed you alone and your girlfriend alone. So the only logical we don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to
Oh
explain
God,
that to
she
Vander.
has kissed both of them.
I don't have enough time to explain this to Vander, though.
This is a Sonic question now.
or Gaspard when we meet them again.
Cree would have some things to say.
I mean, it might be a sending tool. You might be able to use it to communicate.
That is very convenient. Can I take that?
What do you mean convenient? You don't know who you're gonna talk to.
We'll find out. Can I have that?
Against my better judgment, yes. Here you go.
You'll put it on.
Okay. He's like,
He's not even pierced. He's just gonna jam it in.
He is. Thank God.
yeah, Vander has earrings, yeah. Doesn't Vander usually wear studs, or does he wear hoops and stuff?
He has gauges,
Gauges? Okay.
or the equivalent of what
Yeah.
it looks like. They're probably not actually gauges.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's easy enough to fix to your ear. It goes very well with your complexion and your fur and everything.
Oh, nice. Stylish.
Does feel a little bit more era than you. But you put it on, and you have that innate sense of like, contact with a magical item in the way that it was designed, and you do feel as if you could reach out through it to send a message.
Hello.
You gave it to the himbo. What did you expect?
I don't know.
Even Era's questioning herself now.
Right. The villain's like, I think I might have miscalculated a lot.
Eric just replies, "It isn't the consequences of my actions."
How do you feel about a triad?
A quad. That's a joke for you and no one else.
Eh.
So,
Yeah.
you say hello with
Says
your
hello.
25 words.
Yeah.
And out,
Only need one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just drags out the syllable.
It's the equivalent of 25 words.
Just, hello.
Yeah.
The sending like counts up the length of it till it equals 25 words. So, brief moment of silence, and then just a chuckle. And you can tell it's Era laughing, and it kind of feels a little surreal, and not specifically like the sending spells that you sent from scrolls, because you've sent a whole bunch recently, actually, like more than you've probably ever sent in your life, if you've ever sent one before. So you're familiar with the way that when you send a sending, it's very cerebral, but it's all in your head. Like, I send one to you and I say hello, it's like I just say hello in my head, and then I would hear Ray say hello in my head. Like, it's, it doesn't affect your surroundings. You don't see anything with it. It's a pretty straightforward process is what I mean. It is like a telephone conversation, kind of, or a walkie-talkie conversation. When Era chuckles, you hear her behind you. Like, it sounds like the chuckle's moving, like in 3D audio kind of thing. And like the chuckle starts here and then comes into the field of vision, and you obviously, she's not there and you don't see anything, but there's something a bit different about the earring as far as you can tell. And she chuckles for a few words worth of chuckles. Now, I should go on RPG Stack Exchange and be like, has anyone calculated how much laughing adds?
Yeah.
Can you just
How many
laugh
words is
for it?
chuckle?
Can you just send someone and laugh creepily for like a long time and just fuck with them? But no, she chuckles until the sound moves around and she goes, I expected it something a little more coherent when you put that on, but hello.
How many
Came to the
times
wrong
can I
person.
reply?
You don't know.
Thanks. Why did you kiss my girlfriend?
Be the priority.
And you just see, Alil, you just see, because this is all in his head, like you just see Vander like put the earring on and go, and you just see like all these different faces that Vander's making.
Oh. The consequences of your
It's
actions.
not going to be good.
You gave that to him.
Well, I assumed that you would have figured it out by now, but I kissed her as you to catch her off guard and tie her up.
As you.
As me.
No, this is making sense.
Yeah, okay.
I shouldn't say my thoughts aloud. Or in my thoughts.
I shouldn't think my thoughts.
Eris, now your thought police.
No, Vander just says that out loud because he's trying not to think. I shouldn't think my thoughts.
I'm gonna be like,
That's probably what went through the setting.
Oh, really?
I shouldn't communicate what I'm thinking.
Word spilling just right out.
I mean, you need to use your thoughts to communicate. Are you okay over there?
I'm okay. How many times could I do this?
Well, that's actually the last one for the day. But I still hold to my note. She's a great kisser. That's what she ends it on.
and, like, and you try to respond, and no
Yep.
response.
That is a 4 use per day.
Okay.
God damn.
You just see a range of emotions go over that poor furbolg's face, and then he suddenly like slumps a little bit as he's done using the magic.
Let me guess. Era?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I'd assumed it as much. But this is a cool little tool. I say that because I've been speculating about making my own, just in a different form, but also using a feather, so that's pretty interesting.
Okay. Okay.
Sonny
Alright.
walks into the room.
Yeah. It's a cool tool, I guess.
Is everything okay?
Oh, no.
No, Vander's fine.
We got gifts. Vander gets to talk to Era.
Oh.
I mean, I guess technically whoever wears that earring gets to talk to Era.
And you would recognize 6 belongings like suddenly on the bed scattered about.
Oh, and she brought. Okay. You said there was something I needed to look at.
Yeah, you should look at what both of us got. Actually, I might have a question or two about. Might have you look at
Yeah,
what
I'll
I
take a
got
look.
too.
I left
before-
the stone with Cass in case
Okay.
anything comes up.
Okay, good. Yeah. Okay.
And so I was going to take a look at everything. It's like, and I guess this is the obvious one to start with, and we'll pick up her letter.
Yep. On the front, it says Sonny, beautifully calligraphied version of your name. And then the letter reads, or well, yes, it's a letter. It's a letter separate from the scroll. The letter reads, some ancient history you might be interested in for a late night read. -era.
Take a close look at the scroll it came with. It's like, was it this?
But she left you.
It looks ancient, and it looks more like a tapestry than a scroll, just because it is about that big, and like no normal magic scroll is ever bigger than like an A5 sheet of paper or
Yeah.
like that. But
This
this is like that
This
big.
is like pressed vellum.
It is because it is very much that deeply woven fabric that has kind of rotted and spotted over time. And just like the books that you picked up in the library, it has a faint brine smell to it.
Huh. It almost looks like something from my temple.
I mean, it looks old. That's for sure.
So are some of the writings in my temple, yes.
Yeah.
I can't look at that without getting absorbed in it. What did you need?
So she left me. I've set the book
Yeah.
down on the bed. She left me this book. I'm mostly just before I go. Some of us are not as anxious to just go using the gifts left to us by Era as others.
Vander's heading to
Understandably
your
I
so.
just kind of want to make sure that I'm not going to open this book and get cursed or something.
Well, I can try to find that out for you.
Yeah, if you could.
Yeah, just give me a few minutes.
Given that she wants to scout us for her weird,
You're not
Thing.
objective in this situation, my friend.
There are subtle
You-
magics that can work on the mind, so maybe
You
it is best
are-
to be certain.
Way too trusting.
that's not to say I trust her. I trust her as
You
far as I
put
can
her
throw
earring on your ear
You can throw people
without
pretty
even
far.
questioning it.
The 8-foot
Yeah,
floor
also
block
you're
monk
an
could throw
8 foot
people pretty far.
That is a lot of trust.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, maybe wrong metaphor.
I still want to have her look at it.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm not
Okay.
objecting.
Thanks.
But yeah, I'm just gonna do an identify on it and see if I could find if there's any magic affecting it.
There is yeah, you can complete your identify ritual, and there is magic affecting it. It looks like enchantments. A lot of them just meant to hold it together, in the structural integrity of it. But it does look like it contains magic. You're not getting you're not seeing anything other than enchantment on it, and it doesn't seem harmful as far as you can tell.
There's magic, but it's just to keep the book in good shape over a long time. I don't
Okay.
sense anything that would explode in your face, you know?
Okay. All right. Well, good. Oh,
You can get a stick and open it, just like.
Xander, are you okay over there?
Huh?
Are you okay?
Yeah. Why?
I mean, you did just put on a strange magic object and start using it without...
It's pretty much the equivalent of a sending stone.
Okay.
I feel fine.
Made
Do
of
I feel fine?
stick.
All of his fur is falling out. No.
Ah!
No, you feel fine. And like you felt a little lightheaded when you concentrated and sent the sending. Kind of the same way you would when using a scroll, but more so. Like you're not used to really using magical artifacts and stuff like that. But once you got that final sending completed, like you kind of came off the brief little like woo woozy high, and you feel fine. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel fine. Thank you for your concern.
All right, just be careful with that.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm already thinking about the ways this might go wrong, so I think I would only wear it to actually send
I was
things.
going to say, if you just have that in when Skalea finds you, that might be a little worrying for her.
Yeah, definitely that, and also if I'm using it or wearing it, I guess, could also be an eavesdrop tool. So I won't wear it when I'm not using it.
Okay. And then Sonia will do a quick just-in-case check on the scroll she was given as well before digging into that.
No magic of any type.
Cool.
Completely inert.
All right, well, she will very, very gently, just find a surface, on a desk or table in the room to just lay it out and start unrolling it.
You'd probably have to use the floor.
Okay, that works.
But yeah, you can put it on the floor because it's not going to really fit well on the tables or the beds or anything. You start unrolling it, and it is a absolutely gorgeous piece of handmade history from God knows when. And it is beautifully painted, well-preserved vellum that looks like it tells a pictograph story over the entire thing. And there's no written language on it. There's no runes. It is just beautiful, if simplistic in some ways, paintings. And you see at the very beginning of it, as you unroll it, is you see what you believe is the planet you are on, Akora. And as you roll it out, you see depicted a battle between what looks like a inky black representation and eldritch representation of your gods, and something that's like the complete opposite, where it's bright neon colors and shards and things that you don't really understand, kind of fayish if you had to make a guess. And the battle seem to be happening around the planet. And you can go through it and look at it, and you're going to see tons of beautiful pictures, but right now there's not too much to be immediately gained from it because it's more of an interpretation thing than any kind of direct language or notes or anything.
All right. Just kind of keep working through it. Just clearly she's handled scrolls like this a lot before, and just careful, roll up.
Yeah.
Continue.
The general gist of the entire scroll, because I'm sure you'd quickly go through it, or as fast as you could, is planet, battle for a large piece of it, lots of different weird symbolism you don't really understand, and it looks like towards the end of it, the outcome was your gods or the eldritch creatures won, as far as you know, because the bright color stopped, and it looked like the black kind of enveloped the planet, and the bright colors were kind of off in the distance, and that's kind of where the scroll peters out.
Huh. Interesting. She's gonna kind of keep thinking to herself, and then get her own journal up, start taking notes.
Nice.
take it you know something about whatever all of this is.
I'm trying to understand it. Not sure yet, but this is Interesting. It's old. This is. It's very well preserved, but I mean, it's could definitely fall apart if it was mishandled.
It's
Wow.
beautiful. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Mhm.
It's an artifact in every way.
Did Cass get anything or no?
Cass didn't get anything.
There was nothing on the bed with her name.
Yeah.
No, nothing.
Nope.
What?
Nothing.
Were you opening your book?
Yeah. After while Sonny's enraptured in scribbling her notes, Alil will go over and crack open the cover of the book.
Okay. You open it up, and more of that musty smell kind of smacks you across the face, and you see a poorly pinned first page where the author Selkos signed it at the bottom, and at the top wrote Selkos's Guide to Runes. Selkos. And if you flip past the first page, you watch as the page, initially blank, quickly has bits of ink like almost pull through from the page behind it and quickly arrange themselves to words on the page that you can read in common. And on the second page, instead of ink, little bits of like sand or dirt or something come out and start moving and forming the shape of a rune and just kind of twisting and moving like ants on a page, and they're showing you a rune. And spending a minute or two just kind of reading through it, you can tell the brief at the beginning, the runes are gorgeous, the writing not so much. And it looks like Selkos is a giant from some time in the past and pinned what he considered to be the authority on crafting runes and runic magic. And immediately it strikes you as odd, the methods in this book, because it kind of goes against everything that you know, where his theory on runes is you start with something like the first one on the second page of the book is a rune to produce water from stone. And his theory on runes is you start with a need that you have, and his specific methodology is channeling that into whatever you need to create the rune. So like he details like, needing to pull water from a stone to stay alive, and he didn't set out with a runic shape in mind. He didn't set out with a predetermined rune. He set out with the fact that he was thirsty and he was dying of thirst, and was able to, through a very like almost religious kind of ritual, this rune came to him, and he was able to channel his like emotion, his need, his life force into this rune and activate the rune and pull water from a rock. Which is not the way that you were taught and the way that you kind of utilize runes, but it seems authentic and fascinating. So,
Well, I mean, didn't explode in my face.
That is a good start.
I mean, it does seem like she intended to give me this to help me. I'm not sure if that's good or bad.
And the question is why.
Why did she give
Yeah.
these to us?
She does want to scout us for her weird group.
I mean, yeah, it could be a bribery of a kind,
Yeah.
Hey, come join us. Look at the cool things we have.
Yeah. Incentive.
There you go. That's a good word for it.
Thanks.
All right. Well, it is still late. So, for the time being, I'm going to close the book and,
head to bed.
yeah, put it with my belongings. And that's something to tackle in the morning.
Okay.
It's been a heck of a night.
Yep.
Hell of a day.
Mm. Good night, Sonny.
Yeah. Good night.
So all three of you, well, two of you are turning in to actually sleep. One of you is just going to curl up on the floor with that scroll, probably.
And the journals.
And the journals. Okay. Well, on that note, as two of our party members get some good sleep, and the other two party members spend their night being great students, studying all sorts of wonderful things at the university, it's a perfect time for us to take our break. So we're going to go ahead and take a 10-15-minute break and let the cast get hydrated and stretch their legs a little bit, and then we will jump right back into this mystery at the university and all the different things that these wonderful adventurers are finding out tonight. We will do what we normally do, which is leave our microphones on in case you wanted to chat with us, ask questions, nerd out about random things. So the mics are going to stay on for the next 10 to 15 minutes. The video is going to be off while we take a break. So we will be right back, but feel free to chat with us if you would like. See you shortly.
We did it.
You did it. You did the thing.
Yeah, we did.
But what did you do? What did you do?
He's got a lot of internal turmoil going on right now, relating to someone kissing his girlfriend and also kissing him.
Yeah, I actually forgot about that for a second until everybody was laughing, and I was like, wait, she didn't kiss. Oh, she did. Yep.
She
Yep.
did.
Nope, she did.
She did.
Careful throwing that stone.
Oh, it's because he's fuzzy. Yeah, it makes sense.
I call him gay furry. I call him furry. Because he is in fur.
Adjective.
But you can't throw that stone very hard. You kissed her.
No.
I kissed her too, but that's different. No.
No, it's different. Are you okay over there?
Nothing.
I have a concern. Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn. You're always on aim, too.
Yeah, cool like that.
Who's the girliest pop among them?
What?
I'm not sure how to answer that.
Who's the earliest what?
Girliest pop, all one word.
I'm not certain what's being asked.
Yeah.
From the audience, yeah.
Someone named Leshan Kana.
That's my friend.
Oh.
What's a girly?
That would explain why they don't make any sense.
Means
Oh
who's
my-
what?
Ray.
Pop. Okay.
Okay. Ray has explained the question. The answer is Ray.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Gotcha.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
See if I'm getting it, opening that too.
And you can do it.
Oh, really?
Apparently, Ray, the man that's been holding out on the link, and just gave it to the person.
What?
Why are you holding out, Ray?
Yeah, gee. Ray. Yeah.
Oh, I don't understand.
Why are you holding out?
Not sharing the link with the stream.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the story we're getting from chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were holding out. Didn't tell your buddy about the
Wait.
stream.
I did. I promised I would tell her today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been involved with this for how long?
Well,
Over a year now.
yeah.
Almost a year and a half, actually.
In my defense, I didn't know them that long.
But apparently, you guys are all so swag. They are apparently enjoying what they're seeing now that Ray has, finally gotten around to share it.
Yeah, I'm cool like that. Oh, I forgot my drink. Hold
He
on.
is bad.
I mean, I would like to say that I think Skalea could probably have a very girly pop as well. Just saying. So we have a couple. Like she could probably give Vander a run for his money. If she tried. But we do have a lot of swag here.
Sonny would be very confused with the question, what the hell she was being asked to do.
Oh, afraid to come near me now? I see how it is.
Oh, that's the one.
There you go.
Thanks, Dustin.
There you go. I really enjoyed the pause and against my better judgment, sure.
Yeah.
My better judgment.
Yep. It's relatable. Relatable.
can start the library as well.
It can also be unrolled further. I just did not. No. I can deliver at least said okay.
Yeah.
What were the drinks that you feel?
I brought it's crawl. Yeah. Crawl. How do I do that?
Yeah. That's why we have to turn the cameras up on break, all the wrestling and snuggling. Pushing me around.
Tying your shoes.
Why were you doing it sideways?
Like I was intentionally trying to like maneuver it so you couldn't know. I simply just left my foot as it was.
Okay. I'm remaining uninvolved.
Official studio Crocs.
Yeah.
Actually, it's part of the dress code now.
Oh, mine had happened to me too. I think it's just that couch. Mine magically caught a tie too.
It's something. Crocs are going to be part of the studio dress code now.
Yeah.
You weren't here for the vote, but that's what we said. We're gonna have like a thing, like we put on a community Crocs.
Take your shoes off, but then take your Crocs.
Guys, I think we just have to go, so also don't bend over by the fridge.
That's a concerning statement to hear.
Not a phrase I ever wanted to hear in my life.
We need a supernatural HR department.
Yeah.
Y'all ever heard of rhinoceros? The action?
No. No.
So when you have someone just standing there bending over, and you run up to them, like, right on its elbow.
That's rude.
Okay, that didn't happen to me at least.
That happens all the time.
That happened to me. Dumb shit that me and my friends would do to each other in high school.
Yeah.
We asked each other with the capital
I don't know.
Brother. Have capital silence and bang, so you have to put capital silence.
I do. Oh,
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it depends on how people want to be. Sometimes it's just sometimes it's full on.
That's good.
Sometimes it's full on. No, it's dumb. It's stupid.
Hey, shut up, Phoenix. Happily Bangkok.
Okay. Demonetized. Demonetized. Oh my. We need her to keep the game going. Don't kill Kira.
You need to get a shirt made and just make Ray wear it.
What?
I will happily that shirt for Ray.
Well, we're hoping that some of that did not make that on stream. In the background. Not that I didn't enjoy every second of it, but
I have no idea what people did and didn't do.
oh, okay.
Not
We're
enough
okay
to
with that.
cast.
Well, let's turn those
Just
cameras
taken
back
down.
on and get back into our game then. And away from what just happened.
What do you mean? I will happily say it again.
Yeah, we know. We know. You made
I'll
that
remember
very
that.
clear.
Also, mood.
So true.
Yeah.
Mood?
Mood.
Mood.
A very
Mood.
Such a mood.
a thirsty move.
Oh, mine is more aggressive. Hers is more love it.
I was trying to save it for you.
Wait, you.
Mine is more like ah.
And everyone gives Sonny shit.
I think there's a
Wow.
lot of misunderstandings about what's going on right here and these words. So we're gonna jump back into our game. So welcome back to Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern. We're an actual play 5th edition D&D stream. At least that's what we purport to be. Sometimes we're just a bunch of giggly
Sometimes
fuckheads
we're that.
that make inappropriate jokes. I mean, which is just a D&D stream. So we're back from our break. Thank you for giving us a few minutes to go ahead and get our drinks and all that fun stuff on. And some people assaulting the gym and other people. And yeah, we're back. So let's go ahead and pick. What?
The face you made.
Oh, okay. We're gonna go ahead and jump right back in. So 2 of you went to bed, so I assume that nothing else for either of you tonight, right? Sana, you're just
No.
going to continue looking at the scroll for the rest of the evening
And the journals. Yeah.
and the journals, and then Cass, you need to meditate at some point.
Technically, I don't. In the same way, none of us need to actually sleep.
I mean,
Eventually.
yes, eventually.
You
So
can
are
go-
you just
you can
going to
maybe
push
go a night
through? Are you
without
going to push through the night?
Possibly.
How hard are you going to push?
You should
through
roll 100.
Oh my.
this,
No, it's
this is the
going-
D100
God.
push over here.
That's another
There's a
shirt we
chain
need
of
from Cass. You
events
should roll a
that could
D100.
happen.
Yeah, we're gonna have to buy. You know what? Christmas is gonna be lit for Ray this year. He's gonna get a lot
You
of.
get so many shirts.
Yeah.
Because
Because we're gonna get you a shirt too that's like you should roll a D100.
Yeah, you should
And
roll
what was
D100.
what was the other shirt? Oh,
Yeah,
never
yeah,
mind.
yeah,
Never
yeah.
mind. I know what
we
the
know
other
that
shirt
one.
is.
We know the other one.
What?
Capital silent. No.
Ray just really loves geography.
Yes, Ray
Yeah,
is
he's
a
a
passionate
big fan
consumer.
of geography.
Passionate consumer of geography.
Yes.
Traveler.
There we go. That one counts. It doesn't count as double though.
I know.
Dang it. Dang it. Didn't count as double. We
Anyway,
came back from break.
Cassiana.
I did nothing.
Cassiana, what are you doing?
At about 2 a.m.,
Okay.
Cass is going to leave the library and is going to pace around and try and just find like a dark little enclave of the grounds.
Most of the university is well lit, even if it was a pitch black night somehow. But there are a lot of small gardens, and you could find somewhere more secluded in the gardens that has lower light. Are you looking to be like completely hidden, or just away from people,
Away
or
from people.
easy enough? The gardens of the university are vast, and there's not many students using them right now. So you might see 1 or 2 that's kind of doing the same thing that you are, hiding from people and studying. But yeah, you can find a garden nook.
I'm going to burn my last sending scroll.
Okay, you can burn your last sin. Go on.
And I'm going to call Hydlore.
Oh, you mean you're going to use it?
Yes, I'm not going to start a
You're
fire
gonna burn
with
it. Just gonna
That's what I thought.
put it on fire.
Oh, my
Burn the
brain-
whole damn place down.
My brain's been
I'm not finding
fried.
the answers I want.
My brain's been fried because of this last break. So yes, you can use your sending scroll to Hylar. What 25 words are you sending to Hylar?
Call me now, it's urgent. And I'm just going to put my little tree drop on a bench waiting.
Okay.
And I imagine there's still wild magic effects.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there would be.
Mm-hmm.
There would. Actually, there would be. So D100, Ray's favorite dice.
Yes, I love that.
44.
Ray just slides up to people and Stu's like, "Hey, have you rolled a D100 lately? Let me tell you about the benefits
Have you heard
of
the good
D100."
news about D100?
D100. You wanna?
Xavier, D100?
We gotta get you to play like a 40k RPG at some
Oh,
point because it's
God.
nothing but D100s.
Hell yes.
It's all percentile and D10.
Ray's got the trench coat. You want to buy a D100?
D100s, right?
What was it?
44.
44. 44.
Not to be confused with a 4d4.
Yes. Nothing happens
Oh.
of note that you're aware of.
Nothing
this
that
dimension.
you're aware of.
Nothing else.
So
Details. Yeah.
you get a very confused return message from the sending of Hyler going, stand by. And then about 10 minutes pass. And eventually there's a faint, we just smashed 7 words together there. There's a faint shaking of the teardrop that you set down on a bench. And there's a bit of green emerald light, and then there's that flickering kind of magic that pours out of it, and the rough visualization, like as if it was made of fireflies of Hylor. I assume this is urgent.
I did say as such. Was there magic before the Xiphoid?
What?
Correction. There was magic before the Xiphoid. What happened?
Okay, I don't know if you're going for something dramatic here, Cass, but you need to be a little more lucid. What the fuck are you talking about?
It has come to my attention that there is a theory that there was magic before the Xiphoid. It was repressed, and the Xiphoid intentionally hit this planet and brought magic back. Are you aware of this?
Are you on drugs?
No.
Well, then you must be on something because I don't. You just called me up and said this was. Yeah, I've heard of wild magics. It's a folk tale. People have talked about that since as far as back as I can remember, and it's always been a fucking story for kids, Cass. No, there wasn't magic before the Xiphoid. What do you mean? No, this is all folklore and fairy tales. Why are you bringing this to me?
I'd like to insight check that.
You can. Go ahead, insight check it.
Side checking, motherfucker.
22.
Seems pissed off and honest.
It goes deeper.
No, it
They
doesn't.
got to him already. Got to him already.
You're completely sure about that? There's no... And like Cass is going to sit down and she's just going to start to cry. She's like, you're sure about this?
I mean, as sure as someone of my station can be. What, Cass, it was 8,000 years ago that these kind of rumors are from. If that, I wasn't alive then. None of us were. You expect me to know the history of the world? Like, that's impossible. Nobody knows that. We barely have recorded history to satisfy enough of our historians from when this thing fell, which I can prove because it's right next to me. Like, I'm not mad at you. I'm confused and frustrated because it sounds like you're spouting a crock of shit and I don't know who's gotten into your head. But no, as far as I know, everything that you just said sounds like a drunk child.
Man, this bad guy is bad at comforting.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, is he a running theme with druids?
I know you were a lot more comforting the first, life crisis around I had.
Yeah, but you also just woke me up in the middle of the night after
Yeah,
a
same.
really shitty day and then hit me with urgent and then slapped me with the other hand with child's tales that you seem to be having a crisis and breaking down over?
Yeah, we talked to someone related to all that fake corruption bullshit, and she said the governments of the world back whenever eliminated magic, and the Xiphoid was, I don't know, summoned or whatever. Like, it wasn't a coincidence. Like when you think about the statistics of this particular asteroid hitting this particular world and bringing magic to us, it does seem rather like someone summoning it does sound a little bit more logical than, you know,
Sure.
1/1000th of a
Yeah.
chance.
Yeah. Sure. Get into. So you want to talk statistics and numbers? What are the numbers on an entire planet conspiring on something successfully?
What was the chances of Edwin freezing the lay when we still don't know how he did that?
Fine, fair, but you're talking about a planet-wide conspiracy that somehow turned magic off. I'll run with your crackpot theory. So magic existed. There were obviously gods of some type. They let that happen. Number one, they let the planet be cut off from magic.
I didn't say there were gods.
Say what?
I didn't say there were gods.
I'm
before.
assuming based on the story.
Okay.
Christ, Cass, really?
You know, it's been a day.
Fine, but like you're looking for demons where there are none here. Like I'm putting two and two together and going with your crackpot theory of if there was magic, then let's just say there were gods too.
Okay.
But because I'm trying to paint the picture of how ludicrous this is, because in the reality that you're building, you're saying that gods would have had to not intervene or any sort of divine power. The people of the world didn't stop it either. And these people somehow cut an entire planet off from magic and nobody did anything about it. Unless you're also saying them summoning the Xiphoid thousands of years later was the rebellion?
There are some plot holes.
There are some inconsistencies with the theory, yes.
Yes. But there are other gods than, you know, Fade and Dissuit and all of them. Where did they come from?
The Xiphoid.
So you're telling me that a bunch of like ocean-dwelling gods were hit by the Xiphoid in Treetop? not like you.
Ocean-dwelling gods, I have no idea who you're talking about, because as far as I'm aware, we've never had an ocean-dwelling god that has actually proven to themselves to exist. But you know how the story goes, and it's not even a story, it's fact. The Xiphoid killed about 1,000 people when it crashed into Treetop, and some of them that night, there were about, what the fuck was the story, 8 or so bolts of light that came up out of the forest, and then months and years later, slowly we found out that those were people that were killed by the Xiphoid and granted godhood of some form.
Mm-hmm.
You learned this.
I did.
Thank you.
But there is a member of our party who communes with gods who are not one of those people.
Hey, can you empirically prove that?
I mean, where else is a warlock getting her powers other than of an ocean-based nature? I don't think there are ocean demons or ocean fae.
Sure, Cass. People get magic from all sorts of aspects of the Xiphoid, and it could be one of the gods that has trickery up its ass, and it's fucked with the poor warlock this whole time. Life doesn't make a one-to-one Cass. Like, life does not make a one-to-one sense for everything. Your friend could be lying to you. They could also not understand the actual source of their powers until you see some giant sea leviathan thing that has godlike powers that you can confirm with your own eyes. Like, again, I'm not mad at you. I'm flabbergasted. I don't understand what you expect me to say in this. Yes, Cass, it's a big conspiracy and I'm in on it 8,000 years later. I'll admit that was slightly mean, but...
No, I'm being an idiot. I get it.
No, Cassiana, no. That's not what I'm saying. Pull your head out of your hands. You're not an idiot. It's critical to question the world that we live in. And it's critical to question pretty much everything. And who knows? Maybe you're right. I have no idea. From my understanding of this world that I live in my worldview, I think I have it right. Maybe you're right. I'm not going to fault you for questioning it. I'll fault you for having a breakdown over it, though, because question everything, but why has it shaken you so much?
So it would have meant if this was true, and if you knew it was true, that when I came to you at my most critical moment,
I betrayed you.
yes,
I did not betray you, Cassiana.
okay. I just needed to know that because this was the thing that got me through, knowing that I had murdered my best friend. And I just need to make sure that the one thing that has pulled my life back up and given me purpose and meaning and made me okay is not completely shattered. Divine Mike comes down upon me.
God has spoken, one of the many gods.
The ancient.
I love it. I love it.
Yes. So I just needed to know that this was not the case.
Yes, I've only ever told you the truth about anything that I know as the man that I am. And as far as you coming to us in your most vulnerable time and everything else that you just said, sorry again, by the way, the Xiphoid's real. I can't speak to everything that you just laid before me tonight, other than my comments from earlier. I did not mean them to be so dismissive, but they were dismissive. The Xiphoid's real. I can touch it. I can see it. I can confirm the magic that it grants us. I don't know if anybody summoned it here for whatever reason. Yeah, it's astronomical that it hit this planet. That is very unlikely. A lot about the Xiphoid's very unlikely if you think about it. But it's here. I understand it. It works, and it's given us a lot. And that's kind of what I focus on. I focus on the tangible. So if I can see these gods and touch this stone, and it gives these powers and things, I tend to put my faith in them. I'm not going to fault you for questioning the way it's always been, though. You should question the way it's been, and you shouldn't be ashamed about that. Just don't let it shake you, because even if everything that you just told me is somehow true, that still doesn't change all the great things that you've done in your life, the things that you've personally achieved, the horrible thing that you've overcome, and where you get your powers now. So, does it mean bunch of other fucked up things about the world, and then maybe that some of us might want to do something about it? Sure, but it doesn't. If somebody could hand you a book or prove to you right now that every crazy thing that you just spouted was real, think about how much wouldn't change. Let me say it like that. It's all real, Cass. Big conspiracy. We used to have magic, all that kind of stuff. You know, say that's the conversation we just had. I betrayed you and everything. That would hurt. But really, like, what practically changes in your life in this moment? Are you going to stop breathing? Are you not going to go to bed tonight? Are you not going to wake up tomorrow and have breakfast? It's kind of a longer term thing. It's a bigger picture sort of thing. Do I make sense?
Yes. Yeah, no, that all makes sense.
It's meant to be comforting. I'm trying.
No, I know. I'm getting the comfort through the graph. Believe me, I get it. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Like, this exact same conversation with Vander. Like, I know the Xiphoid is real. I know what it's done for us.
Vander's in the back. Yeah, right.
So, I don't know. I just let someone get under my skin too much, so I appreciate that. Very sorry for waking you up at 1 in the morning your time.
Don't apologize for it. It's fine. You can call me at any hour for anything. I let my emotions get the better of me in that moment as well. But I hope that this did help in a very roundabout way that you probably didn't originally intend. But just don't let it get you down. Keep chasing the truth, no matter what the truth is, no matter who you have to go through to get the truth. Just make sure you don't let it destroy you on the way.
Okay.
Anything else?
Oh, we found Xenon.
Oh, the researcher that you were looking for.
Yeah.
Any news on that besides finding him? Did you figure it out?
No, I mean, we have proof that he was there outside of your ward. So we can talk to him about it. He's a terrible writer. Oh my god. He saw the xiphoid and all its wonder and wrote like the driest paper in the world.
Oh, so he's a scientist.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they do.
But you would expect him to still have a little bit more excitement about the thing he's researching.
I tend to find even the most stoic people actually have a sense of excitement and everything, but they tend to keep it inside or not put it pen to paper. But he, as far as I can tell, he still was never officially here, so that is a thread worth pulling on. Just make sure you're careful.
Yeah, I actually think I was maybe a little too careful. Our conversation was not productive. So I'm gonna.
Well,
give
it's
it
about
another go.
finding the balance.
Yeah, the balance skewed a little too friendly.
That tracks.
So I'll let you know more at a reasonable hour next time. But
All right. Well, I hope you
appreciate that.
manage to get a stiff drink after this and get some sleep at least.
Oh yeah, that will be part of that.
All right. Well, good night, Cassian. Good luck.
Good night. Thank you.
And the fireflies kind of swirl away and just dissipate into the air, and the tree drop that is yours rests on the bench with the green glow kind of fading.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go get a stiff drink.
Okay. Are you going to get a stiff drink and then go to bed?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the hours of the evening slowly tick away with a lot of our party, most of the party, getting some rest wherever they can. And Vander, Alil, you both have a very sound night. Suspiciously so, almost, where you, yeah, she's like, hey,
What? Hold on.
hey, Dustin, you're in your 30s. You know what a suspiciously good night of sleep
okay,
feels like. You wake up and you're just like, 8 hours? What?
Yeah, wait, hang on.
So yeah, you both wake up and it's just the best you've slept in a while. The beds are very comfortable in the end. You have a lot on your mind. You've kind of been exhausted in general, and you passed out for like a good solid 8 hours. So you both wake up like feeling, at least physically, like your bodies really needed that. You continue studying the journals and the scroll for the night. Cass gets a drink downstairs at the tavern and eventually comes up and stumbles into bed. Not drunk or anything, just tired, to be very clear.
Don't step on that, please.
I will not step on the
You know, not step on
ancient
the ancient
Rolling
happens.
100.
Welcome to Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern, brought to you by.
D100.
God damn it, hair was in the way. D100. It's the one side of the face. Guy should have gone for that
on the
side.
other side.
Say what?
Other side. Yeah. Yeah. You do the right hand? No, do the right hand.
Like that? Like that?
Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks.
Thanks for the stage direction there.
Wait, what's the anime thing? Is that two fingers?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go.
Two.
Shut up!
Yeah.
Shut up! That's just my brain running with memes and anime. Because I did the anime hand poison, I'm a fucking weeb. Don't.
Oh, you did it to yourself. Okay.
Anyway, you both wake up. Sonny spent the evening going through stuff. Cass, you didn't get as much sleep, but you only need the 4 hours of meditation, so you still got enough to function without any levels of exhaustion. So the next day comes around, and all of you start to wake up in the inn. How's your morning go?
Immediately out the door, bright and early.
Okay.
Going to the gate.
Okay.
You're going
yeah.
to.
I'll be back.
Yeah, we're not gonna stop him. He's,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's cause.
That's all right.
They don't even try.
I'll go.
Well, he of course says good morning and goodbye.
Yeah. It's just like
before...
you bolt, and it's like no one's even gonna try to stop you. We
Yeah.
know what's going on.
Okay. So where are you going?
to the front.
So you're going to the gate?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
waiting.
You head off to the gate to the university, that the teleportation pad that is kind of raised towards the southern tip of the island, and you grab the same spot that you had on a bench from yesterday, waiting for Sick to show up.
Good.
What about the rest of you?
Start kind of just going through my personal notes on the journal and the scrolls, and start trying to see if like, okay, is there anything that jumps out to me as weird when inlanders were looking at my religious practices, and kind of collating my thoughts on the scroll. So
You still have a lot to go, but the main things that you take from that evening of study is just the fact that they got a lot wrong. It definitely even seems racist in some interpretations where they didn't ever really talk to the inhabitants. One or two small conversations have been documented, but they were more confrontational, and they made a lot of observations at a distance, and they theorized that your people were worshiping a false god that had never existed because they had not been exposed to more recent teachings. So, main thing that you're getting, it's kind of broken. A lot of it is really technical, kind of like Sinan's observation on the Xiphoid, where it talks about the types of food that everybody eats, the type of clothing they have, the way they just construct their buildings. It's very much a cultural study.
Okay. Actually, with the cultural stuff, is that kind of all lines up with like my village, or does something seem like they got that wrong too?
No,
Or is this-
everything.
any implications could be a different place.
No, it was your village. It was that island for sure. Like everything, they even described like the temple from a distance, and like you easily corroborate this person was actually there.
Okay.
So it was a thing that happened.
Interesting.
What about you, Cass? and Alina?
Morning, Sonny.
Morning.
I'm just gonna like,
Welcome back, Cass.
thank you. I'm like curled up in my quilt.
Find any more answers last night?
Not really. Nothing definitive.
You all right?
Yes, it was just I didn't get as much sleep as I probably should have. And what happened with you guys last night? What was in the room, and what was that thing I was not supposed to step on?
The scroll's still like unfurled on the floor.
Hera broke in. Vander and I came up to the rooms to find that somebody had been in them, and Hera left us some gifts.
That was kind of her.
I think it is
Jury
trying to
might still be out
give
on
us
that.
evidence that she was right.
Charm offensive makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. What did everyone else get besides, giant squirrel? Squirrel. 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 Giant squirrel.
You all noticed
That would really brighten the druid's day.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it just though?
there's a giant stuffed squirrel there for Cass. No.
We somehow didn't see it last night.
Yeah. It's like, oh, it's in the corner.
into the
We
narrative.
wake up and actually, like, oh!
Aaron walked in, like, tucked it in beside me.
I got a book about rune magic.
I mean, that should be helpful.
It's interesting. I mostly just opened it to make sure it wasn't cursed. Definitely seems like it might have some interesting information. Vander. Vander.
Oh, dear.
Vander was given an earring that lets him talk to Hera.
Sure, that won't cause any problems for us.
I already regret giving it back to him. Well, the good news is it seems to only be a limited number of times maybe in a day that he can do it. So
That is usually how it works. The weave has to work its way back into the item.
yeah, so I guess that's a good thing, is that there's only so much damage that can be done.
And I'm still kind of trying to figure this out. It's very old, but here, and let me show you. And she'll kind of just motion for Cass to come take a closer
Do
look.
you guys want some food?
I am actually very hungry, yes.
I'm gonna first get some food and go give it to the goofball who ran off without eating.
That's a good plan.
And then I'll bring some back up for us.
Good plan.
I'm gonna go walk downstairs.
And then I'll kind of just roll back to the start of the scroll and just let Cass
Oh.
see all the images in sequence of like, here's the world, and
I,
here's
of course,
this
grab my bows.
strange power, and also all of these colors and crystals, and they seem to be fighting each other.
It's pretty.
You're not there.
It's the narrator voice.
Yeah.
And then eventually just,
Scroll looks
the
pretty.
darker eldritch power just kind of seems to have the world to itself at the end.
What is your interpretation of this?
It's definitely a conflict. I don't know when any of this would have happened. This is ancient.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually surprised it's holding up so well so far. But it looks I don't want to say definitively, but when I look at it, this power, and she taps the dark one, gives me impressions like my temple. Not exactly, but like a piece of it, maybe.
Mhm.
This, well, I mean, crystals kind of create an interesting thing to consider right there, but the only place I've ever seen that was anywhere near that colorful was when we were in the Feywild.
Yeah, that. It gives that impression, yes.
And if those were connected and then driven away, that is, huh.
Here comes the reason there's a Feywild, that it's separate.
I don't know.
Were
I
we
mean,
once the Feywild?
this is. They're not, a single entity. There are lots of them. So maybe there's not enough to tell.
Yeah.
But given the age and the way this is recorded, that there's no words, there's no text. It is all just impressions, images.
Mhm.
It makes me wonder exactly how far before this had happened, before the scroll was even made.
Yeah.
You okay?
Having many thoughts. So, according to this scroll, from best we can tell, your gods drove something away from the planet.
Them or something related to them. I can't say for sure yet.
Yeah.
But
And this is ancient. And your gods predate the Zyphoid.
that is how I was taught, yes.
And Treetop has stories of wild magic. I mean, kid stories. Wonder. Oh, who knows? Maybe your gods and wild magic are the same. Maybe once your gods rule the world.
We don't know for sure yet.
Yeah.
I mean, this, I cannot say for sure, but it gives me the same feeling of a lot of scrolls from my temple. I don't know if this was originally from my temple or not, but I wonder if knowing what is here might make some things make more sense once I am back.
Yeah. Definitely a good jumping off spot.
Makes me very suspicious of why Era thought to give it to me, but nothing about it. There's not enough here to say if it is right or wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what was your takeaway of last night, besides, oh geez, Vander?
Which part?
Well, specifically the whole last, I presume last bit about the, the typhoid was summoned from everywhere. Like, obviously, yeah. Cult.
I mean, it was surprising to hear an inlander say it. I mean, some parts of it aren't really supposed to be shared outside of the temple, but what I can say is that our village was founded to speak with the gods. There was a long part of time where they were silent, and eventually they returned to us and the priesthood came back to power. We've been worshipping them for generations, farther back than the village's own history goes. Some of our first records speak of the services, the rites.
That's interesting.
I mean, I was not there. I have faith in my gods. I trust them. But I guess if, inlanders have all of these stories about these Zyphoid, they don't exactly add up together.
I mean, a lot of the stories add up. It's just, I guess, before the Zyphoid that is in question. So.
Not really something we can find out for ourselves very easily.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping you would tell me that you were actually secretly like 9,000 years old. That would just make things way easier, but
Cass, I'm 20.
I know.
I'm making sure you remember this.
Yes. You're a human.
9,020.
I was, yes.
Like, I know, I'm still a child, but like, I'm not.
Shark year is like, 1,500 human years or something.
I mean, what kind of shark? So yeah, this is making sense, but I am keeping my faith in my gods, not in the gifts of someone that I do not trust.
Yeah, it's fair.
Why do you ask?
I don't know, just trying to make sense of everything. I called Tyler last night. He wasn't about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I felt like she drunk dialed an X.
I see. How did that go?
It was good. He put some stuff into perspective.
I see.
He knows absolutely nothing about your gods.
I would not expect him to.
Yeah. But yeah, he wasn't too helpful in that part. You shouldn't talk to him about that.
Okay.
But
I know.
What did he have to say?
well, kind of what I said last night in anger, But yeah,
I see.
yeah,
Yeah, you don't know them. It's kind of to be expected.
yeah. I mean, when you can literally see one walking around the country versus secondhand knowledge.
I mean, we don't really see them directly either.
See, you have faith. We like to put our hands on giant rocks.
Well, there is a part of that. I mean, I bear their markings.
That is true. So,
Did you think I was just born with these?
no, that would have been wild.
No.
Also, I
there's-
think we would have had to question, were you really human if you were just like, I'm born a glowy shark.
when one knows that how much we can speak of outside of to inlanders, it's muddy. There are rites that one must undergo to become one of the priests, and upon their completion, then this is the result.
Well, I mean, our clans are pretty secretive too. We don't get cool, pretty rights like that, but I know a thing about like stuff being kept inside.
I mean, it's not so strange for my village. It's just, it's not really surprising. I found records of someone from the university visiting almost 2 centuries ago. And they barely even spoke with anyone who lived there. They just wrote all of these crazy theories while watching from their boat.
That's just creepy.
Right?
Yeah.
This is, Like, you could have had some kind of a conversation with us, but
Seriously.
getting treated like this is why we don't talk to inlanders about some of these things.
That's fair.
If they had, been willing to talk to us, maybe, but centuries and centuries of people just being weird.
I mean, it's not like you were like, no, please stay out. And they're like, this is the best we can do. Like, I get why there's weird theories about treetop. We do try and actively discourage people from coming in, but like, it's different.
All right. Anything else?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have to go see Professor Clementine, but we need Thick for that.
Hopefully she'll be back.
And you said you were going to go downstairs. You were going to get some
Yeah,
breakfast
I'll get
from the golem.
I'll get like a some sort of pastry
Yeah.
Something that I know that Vander will be able to eat all right without having access to like a plate and silverware. Because I
Yep.
know he's just out sitting on a bench.
Yep. The runes.
And I'll grab some tea as well.
Different sets of runes light up at different times of day, and there are pastries and things that you can get for breakfast.
All right.
So
We
you
gotta
can get some tea and a pastry.
Get a pair of pastries and some tea for Vander.
Okay.
And I'll take those. I'll peek out, find the bench that the sad puppy is sitting on.
Well, before you get to the sad puppy, roll me a perception check.
All right.
Or D100.
Not a D100. Not yet. Not, no,
Oh,
no.
man.
Too many of those. Too many of those. As much as I love them. Probably my favorite dice.
15.
15? So you get the two pastries and some tea, and you set out from the kind of opened, just it's all the pillars with the open bottom floor of the tavern, and you start retracing your steps to the teleportation pad that is not too far away, the main entrance to the university. And you're just kind of, thinking to yourself about the sad puppy and everything else that's been going on, and you're just kind of
the
walking
sad
and
puppy.
thinking to yourself. But you catch something out of the corner of your eye, and like you barely catch it, but you see movement off because as you go towards the pad that you guys all appeared on, there was lots of gardens around it, like leading down, funneling you into the entrance of the university. And you see some bushes rustling off to the side, and then you see someone pretty effortlessly slide out of it and fix you with a death glare.
Do I recognize this person?
You do, because she's 5'2" with short blue hair and she's covered in mud. She has a half burlap, like probably cut open a burlap sack and used it as a skirt, where most of her is covered up except one leg. She's wearing a bra on top, has a stick slung over her back with some rope thing that she must have connected it with. Her hair is matted. She looks pissed beyond belief. And as she slides out, she points like an accusatory finger. What's your name?
Hi, sick.
Name?
My name's Leo.
Where did you meet us?
Would you like some tea?
Where did you meet us?
I met you at Vander's mother's house.
I haven't known you for long enough to ask any other probing questions. Is it actually you?
I know what this is about.
What's it about? Please elaborate.
Yes, it's actually me.
And not...
Era is not here. She left. She impersonated you for a little while, yes. You and Vander are probably going to have to talk.
I mean, I need to talk with everyone, but yeah, sure.
Era wanted to talk to us. Yeah, you should probably come talk to all of us about that. Tea, pastry.
God, yes. And she grabs the pastry and inhales it, as well as the tea, and she just glugs it down. I'm just like, oh God.
Let's go meet Vander.
Where's Vander?
He's waiting for you. I'll point over to Vander on the.
Oh,
on
I
the,
took a hippogriff. I wasn't going to come in the main entrance.
Look, you know how he is.
No,
You know how he is.
Yeah, he's super sweet, and that makes sense.
Let's go say hi to
Yeah,
Vander.
sure.
Okay.
And a few minutes later, you see Alil walking towards you with a pastry and a cup of tea, and you see Sick finishing off a cup of tea in her mud-covered state with the burlap skirt, the bra, the improvised weapon on her back, and the fact that she is covered in mud and dirt and leaves and stuff from head to toe.
Immediately up. Immediately over.
She looks like a very angry elf at the moment, but she does smile as she sees you bound over.
Doesn't even say anything. Just scoops her around.
You can tell she's been caked in mud for 2 days.
Oh, he doesn't care.
Now, I know he
yeah.
doesn't care, but yeah. No, she's a little stiff when you grab her, as if she didn't want to hug or something like that. And it takes her a second, but you slowly feel the muscles kind of relax, and she finally throws her arms around you and digs her hand into your fur like she usually does. And in a shaky breath, she goes, "Please tell me it's actually you."
It's me. It's me. It's me.
I don't know how else to verify that, but
It's him.
Leal seems above board and knows what's going on, so I'm just going to go with it. It's you for right now. But hi.
Tail loudly thumping, the loudest it's ever been on the ground.
She stays in the hug. She doesn't seem like she wants to get out of it, and she just kind of hangs there in the hug.
Perhaps we should go back to the room.
Okay.
Okay.
I hear that. I suppose.
Why don't you take her up there? I'll get some breakfast, some more breakfast for everybody.
Can I have that other pastry?
Absolutely. Go
Thank you.
ahead.
She just like one arm around Vander, grabs the pastry.
Happily, with his 55 feet of movement, dashes all the way.
Just picks her up and just.
No. Aleel had had the cup, and she's like, "Oh, what the?" Just didn't realize that
Tramples a
kid.
poor freshman.
Say what?
Tramples a poor freshman.
Yeah. Oh, my book. So yes, you speed back to the inn as Sick is busy eating her pastry, and Aleel will catch up with you very shortly.
Yeah. I'll stop by the serving robot and pick up a nice tray of some breakfast for everybody.
Okay, so you come up with breakfast.
Pull that up with me.
Yeah, you come up with breakfast moments behind Vander, who brings Sick up to Sonny and Cass, who are there.
Founder.
Oh, Scalia, thank the gods.
Bursting in the door to his room.
Yeah.
Hey, here, go over there, get cleaned up.
Yeah, I need to use a bath. If you just give me a few minutes.
Yes, of course. Just close the door to the other room.
Do you have? I don't have any clothes.
He goes to the bed.
They got returned.
Oh. Okay. Well, I have clothes. Then, do you have a shirt I could just wear for a bit?
Yeah. And he's gonna set her down.
Sure that you can wear
Hurry
like a
over to his
dress.
thing.
Well, yeah, no, yeah. She's gonna have to modify the hell out of it.
Yeah,
She just wants something that's not that pile of clothes, right?
makes sense.
Yeah.
He's gonna pull out a variety of various like choices of clothing that she can wear.
Okay.
And then he's gonna get a bath ready for her.
Awesome. So yeah, Sick will go through and kind of create like a makeshift, very loose, like bohemian outfit out of the clothing and cloth that Vander provides, and then she's gonna go soak in a bath for like 30 minutes, and go. You hear a lot of scrubbing, some cursing in Sylvan and Common, and she's gonna take a bath for a bit. Are you guys doing anything in that short time?
I mean,
30 minutes?
I'll bring breakfast back.
Yeah, you guys
and
get to eat.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
eat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciated.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes.
I'm guessing that's her in the bath.
Yeah, I figure she probably wants some privacy to
Yeah.
deal with all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. You guys discover any revelations while I was
You did notice that.
breakfast?
You did notice, just as a fact, because it happened, when she went for the bath, she had no shame and didn't like close the door or anything. So she just popped her clothes off and was getting in the bath after Vander made it. So if the doors were open, the doors were open. Sick didn't give.
Oh, Sonny closed them.
I figured, but just was saying for behavioral stuff because you're all worried about imposters and everything.
She seems maybe a touch suspicious, but I think we've mostly.
Yeah, I wonder why she would be.
Yeah. No, as soon as she talked to me, I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, no, this makes sense. So, but I think we've maybe mostly assuaged that. I'm sure.
Did we
Vander's-
know how Era snuck up on her?
Yeah. So Era impersonated Vander.
Oh.
Like the two responses of, oh, that's a concern. Oh. Oh. Do you have more details?
More like, that tea's better than this tea.
That would explain how her guard was down.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
yeah.
Scalia is more capable than any of us, even injured.
Yeah, so that put the pieces together. It was in the note to Vander.
I wondered, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, look, just if it doesn't come up, we'll just
I won't-
I was
leave
gonna
it,
open
okay?
with that,
I will not
obviously.
say anything. I will not say
You know, you say that, but in my experiences with you,
are you
I
with-
have that as a legitimate concern.
Vander, are you with them?
No.
Okay.
He is hovering around Sick the entire time.
Plus, you got mud in your fur now.
Yeah.
He's got to get a little cleaning too.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
he's licking himself.
Ow!
Dogs lick themselves.
He's got a flat. He's got a normal face. Because he does a really long talk, I guess. Sure.
Maybe he does. I don't know.
He does.
Quiet right now.
But yeah, so that's how she was in person. That's how Sick was fooled.
Yeah, no wonder her guard is up more than just like she's a little ball of anger and fury and power. So yeah, no, I'm not gonna be like, so heard Vander snuck up on. No,
Again,
I don't want to
I'm
get on
just
her bad
saying
side.
in most recent history, which is all I have to go off of here.
When did I ever open with something that weird
Oh,
that Alil knows about?
Sonny, that right there tells me all I need to know. But yeah, so. But like I said, I think we've assuaged her of those immediate fears. I think it's gonna be a real hard time getting her trust to anybody that's not us for right now.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we'll use that too. But
We just might have to buddy system a little bit more.
I mean, I think that's probably just a good idea in general.
That-
I mean, she can impersonate Eric can impersonate any of us. So
That is
probably a
concerning,
good
yes.
idea to institute the buddy system from here on out.
Maybe we need a secret code word too.
If only this party didn't have former experience with one of them being a shape changer and had thought about this being a reality in this world. Sorry, just had to throw that out there.
Well, we weren't being targeted by a shape changer at the time. The shape changer was our buddy.
Say what?
Changer action.
Yes, Cree would be disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, as
Cree
far,
would be the one having paranoia about it.
Yes, yeah.
as far as we know, Era's not a changeling.
As far as you know.
Yeah, so like, where would we have come to that?
I mean,
She's the
Sonny,
Pinkling.
You were saying secret code word.
Yes, we should maybe have a secret code word. So that way, if like one of us does unexpectedly show up somewhere and we're like, you seem a little off, we could be like, what's the word?
Something to think about, yeah.
Good idea.
In that moment, Alil, you do realize that you didn't validate her identity other than she popped out of a bush near you. And that just kind of tingles in the back of your head for a second of, during this very delicate conversation about everything.
Yeah.
Just food for thought.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys are having this conversation. Sick is scrubbing every inch of her body with more veracity than she ever has in her life, and is definitely kind of self-absorbed and just I wouldn't say enjoying the bath, enjoying getting clean and being out of the situation that she was in. So she spends a large portion of the bath like angrily cleaning herself and getting back to normal. And you see that her like ivory skin is pretty red and rough, scratched up afterwards, just from the rough cleaning with a washcloth and everything. And eventually she just kind of slumps and looks over at you and locks eyes with you for a second. And her expression's like really hard to read. It's a large helping of exhaustion, a large helping of anger, and then some other stuff that you can't really like decode in the moment. Are you standing, kneeling? What are you doing?
quick, check her face, make sure it's her.
You hear a fight break out in the other room.
Oh God!
What are you doing? Yeah, that tracks.
Just like in the next room.
If Sick had allowed, he would have helped her probably, like reach her back and stuff.
yeah,
There are places she couldn't see.
She wouldn't immediately have like asked or like gone for that, but eventually she would have like got.
Wash your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She would have eventually like realized the practicality of it and been like, yeah, that would help. Thank you. So I assume on his knees,
Yeah,
next to the
right next
bath
to her.
kind of thing. So when she like kind of slumps and gives you that really mixed look, she just kind of reaches over and grabs the side of your face and like pulls you over as if for a kiss, but she just kind of like leans her forehead against yours and takes a deep breath and sighs and just kind of sits there for a minute.
Like, are you okay?
Are you still covered in lavender?
Am I still covered in lavender?
When you woke up this morning, it was gone.
Oh,
Same with your tail.
Do I still smell like lavender?
You have a faint scent in your
Probably
fur,
still have a little bit
yeah.
left over.
It's a
Some
nice
remnants.
scent lingering for sure. Because you didn't grow any new flowers, but the rest of the petals had to like what?
Unfortunately, she's allergic.
Unfortunately, he's definitely
Her
allergic.
face, yes, her face was. I have a headache. I'm still hungry. My feet hurt. And I want to run that bitch through like I haven't wanted to run somebody through in a really long time. And I don't like being angry like that. So, in the end, I suppose I'm fine now because I found you all. I found you, and I found all of you, and I've had a bath and 2 delicious pastries. I'm just tired and confused and angry and a lot of things. So, hi.
Hi.
I take it you've pieced together what happened?
Yeah. We can update you and you can update us when we go with the others. But take your time.
I mean, this isn't a fun bath anymore either, because now it's a mud bath. It's not like I can stay in here any longer and enjoy it. And she pops up out of it and like tries to smear her hair back, at least so it's all out of her face, and points at the clothes that you had pulled out. Can I have the orange and red one?
Yeah. And he'll give her reptile around her and go get it.
And then she'll dry off and then use it as kind of like weird Discord message. It's random Discord messages. Not from any of you. And she'll dry off and then she'll take the shirt that you provided and kind of throw it over and do a couple quick like twists of the fabric and a tie. It's like a giant oversized robe on her, but very comfortable. And yeah, she just puts the robe on or the shirt on and that's it. So it's plenty of fabric for her. And she wipes her feet off on the towel and puts the towel up over the bath and drains it, and then just kind of nods as you can see the gears turning in her head. And she's like, so we all talk then?
That would be nice, probably. Probably help you, help them.
Yeah. Hey, really quick. Possibly stupid question, but I'm sure you understand it. Will you give me a kiss?
Yeah.
Oh my.
He was like, the entire time, he was like, I want to, but I want to respect the boundary.
No, she'll actually pop up onto her tiptoes as you lean down and give you a kiss, and it's a very tender, like, sincere kiss. And she does the same thing with holding your cheek for a second. And she pulls away and she smiles, and it's like the anger and all the other emotions aren't there for a moment, and she just kind of like half smiles, like smirks a little bit, and she's like, "Yep, that's what I remember."
He's all giddy.
She gives you another kiss, and then like scritches it at your cheek and says, "Come on, let's talk."
I'll go get some tea first.
That would be nice.
And he's gonna go get some tea for her headache and stuff.
And you know, if there's any more pastries or food down there, I can use something.
Oh, yeah. He's got a bunch.
Oh, okay. Wait, did he go downstairs or is he just in the room making tea?
He's in the room. He's got his tea, and then of course the pastries that he makes.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yes. So she will devour some of those and the tea, and then they will open the door, knock, and then open the door between the rooms. And you guys see Six standing there with like a pile of pastries and the tea, and then Vander's shirt dress. And
Welcome back.
It is good to see you.
I am so sorry you went through all that. Glad you're safe.
thank you. I'm sure it goes without saying, but we're all sure we are we.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we are we.
We
Yeah.
are we.
Yeah.
I heard where we.
I didn't kiss you that hard.
Yeah, but you know.
Yeah. I'm assuming that none of us are Era, as far as we're aware.
As far as we are aware.
As far as we're aware.
Is there any way that we can actually prove that?
That's
I have
you.
validated that that's actually Vander, as far as I know. And I don't know about you, but am I me?
I mean,
touch the cheek.
Can't somebody sense our auras?
Yeah.
Whatever mystical bullshit.
There is that, yes.
Wait, what did you do with the touch? Did you just like grab her head?
mystical
Touch her cheek.
Oh, you just go.
Yeah, like-
soul healing voodoo that you do.
It's the face that you've touched many times, and like you actually even feel like the rough irritation from the rough washcloth on the skin, which you know you wouldn't have felt if it was somebody hiding like Arrow was. You would have gone through the illusion to what's underneath. So yeah, you definitely feels like Six Face.
I could definitely do that to check everyone's auras.
All right.
He'll sit it down real quick and do that.
Yep, you sit down and just kind of have to breathe and focus, and one by one, the little auras that flicker around your companions come to life, and all the colors and the vibrations match what you've seen before, including Six.
Everyone's normal.
Good to know.
That's a good ability to have in this case. So where do we start? Besides these delicious pastries.
You first.
Yeah, take your time recovering.
I would say you first.
I mean, I'm fine. I'm gonna need a long nap. And another bath probably. What do you want me to start with? What happened to me? Okay, well, I went out on watch for the night after. Oh my God. Are you okay? Your arms are different. I didn't even say anything. No, are you okay?
Yeah, fine.
But you went out and I didn't see you after you came back, and now your arms look different, and you were so heartbroken, and it was tearing me up, and you seem happier now, and your arms are different.
Yes, isn't it cool? Check it out. And he like takes off the ceramic part.
Oh my
and it's
God.
Just a wiggly vine.
Wacky arm flailing.
Not like that. Actually. It's like in the shape of an arm that's made out of
yeah.
vines.
What happened?
Greatest thing I probably could have asked to come out of such a heartbreaking experience. I had a revelation.
A revelation of what?
My innate magic.
You're druidic.
Yes, I was as a kid, but I lost it.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I noticed your arms immediately and just didn't say anything because of how angry I was. But you're okay, right?
Yes,
I'm
I'm
sure we'll
fine.
talk about it. But okay.
Yes, how was it you put it? It was like an old grove or something?
Yes, or not necessarily an old grove, but it's a new grove.
Yeah,
in the
it
process
was
of being
like
made.
they were trying to make a grove.
Being
Yes.
grown.
Yeah, it's like a that's
That's
what you
rare.
described.
The amount of spirits I saw there was immense.
Some of them came with us.
Yeah, as Elil's also just gonna kind of remember, and he's gonna go grab a piece of tinder from the fireplace. And
Uh-huh.
He's gonna head over to the lantern and just start kind of breaking some off and feeding into the lantern.
And you guys, the lantern is a super nondescript, magical, red glowing lantern until you interact with it, and you see like almost these little tiny fiery hands coming out, like grabbing the tinder, and Sick jumps. Sick like clears an inch off the floor, jumping backwards, just like.
We met
Fire
a friend.
elementals.
We met a friend.
When he woke the grove, there were elementals present.
Okay, and you brought them with you? The
They-
lantern?
They didn't wish to stay in the land. They said that there was something keeping them suppressed there. It was
Oh.
close to the farms, you know?
What does the farms have to do with it?
You know,
We're
the
assuming that-
elementals act without any real regard for what people want to do with the land sometimes.
Oh, all right. That's interesting. You guys had a productive night.
We had a
It's been
productive
a couple of days.
Ah,
It's been
okay.
a hell of a couple of days for everyone.
Okay, she takes the last pastry and the cup of tea and walks over and just sits in your lap because I assume you didn't get up from like the meditation. So she's just gonna like crawl into your lap and just like lean against you and sit there as if she's like being comforted from all the crazy shit.
He is big enough to be a chair.
Yes.
It's
Easily.
large enough to be furniture.
Yes. Well, you know, she puts her legs together and just like sits half on his lap.
We're not joking.
Well, sorry. Anyway, I went out for watch and the storm was pouring, and I ended up setting up a perimeter, some alarm runes, and I was on patrol, lost in thought, very worried about Vander because I've never seen him that heartbroken, and it broke my heart. And I didn't know if I was actually going to be any help at all, or if I anyway, I was really emotional. But I was doing my best to keep everybody safe, and then at a couple hours into the night, Vander came back from the grove and found me up in one of the trees. Well, I had just dropped down from a tree, and he caught me near the base of a tree. And we had a conversation about his feelings and my feelings, and how I was really upset that I might not be able to comfort him during this time, and that maybe I should just stop traveling with you all. I was overly emotional when I shouldn't have been. I'll admit I was really getting lost in my own shit when I should have been more focused on Vander. But anyway, Vander and I talked about it, and we talked about it for a good 10, 15 minutes. And, Vander was very sweet, overly so, and very apologetic and understanding of me being a hissy bitch. And in a very surprising move, grabbed me by the waist, picked me up, pinned me against a tree, and made out with me.
Oh,
Yeah, but you have not done that. But I enjoyed it. And next thing I know,
Straight face.
no, you can laugh, get it out.
Hey, Lil's got a little bit of a smile.
Yeah, no.
You remember what
It's
Vander
not
said?
really funny. It's,
what did I say?
Wait, what did you say?
I said it's not really funny.
I mean, I'm not going to fault anybody for laughing at it.
You shouldn't. You were deceived.
Yeah, I was deceived. But yeah, so I was lifted off the ground, made out with for a few minutes, and then when my guard was probably at its absolute lowest, got absolutely side-swept, most likely by some kind of a mace or rock. I don't really know what hit my head, but something hit me really hard out of nowhere, and I blacked out. And when I woke up, I think it was like an hour later or something like that, didn't really have much of a wound, and I was tied up, gagged, quite expertly, by Era. And Era was standing there and proceeded to tongue-in-cheek apologize to me for what she had just done and the injury that she had left, and then for stealing all my clothes and my weapons and leaving me in my underwear, and said that she was confident that I would eventually catch up with all of you, and that she assumed I would understand at some point.
That sounds like it.
Yes.
It sure sounds like her.
And then I spent most of the night like that. And then somewhere in the high afternoon of the next day, I finally managed to cut through the last of the ropes on my wrists with some rocks nearby that I had to squirm over like a worm. And I got out, and thus began my on-foot journey, because I had no gold and none of my belongings, to the university. So I hitchhiked successfully a couple of times. I beat the absolute shit out of a pervy wagon driver. And I,
Good for you.
yeah, oh please, even without my weapons, I could kill a lot of people if I wanted to. So I went easy on them. But I didn't have any identification, money, weapons, or anything. So I cobbled together that skirt and a rather solid walking stick, and eventually made my way down to Arcton. And I stole a hippogriff and flew up to the university, because I figured that if I went in the front gate, I might get banged in the wrong way.
I think with your position, you technically commandeered the hippogriff and didn't steal it.
Yeah. For official state business.
Yeah.
Technically correct. I quite like that. I didn't think of it that way. Yes, I commandeered. That's what we'll say on the record. So that's my story. What about all of you?
Well.
Apparently, Vander had some revelations. You met some elemental friends.
Mhm.
And I assume at some point I came back.
Yeah, and you were.
You were kind of sad,
You seem
standoffish.
distant.
It was one of those things where it was weird, but it was a weird night, so.
You're telling me that she actually paid attention to my emotional state that I was in and then mirrored it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, she's good.
And then she started getting kind of weird as the day went on, and then we actually.
What do you mean by weird? Was I making out with people?
No,
The work vendor?
It was more you wanted to be apart from everyone.
What do you mean?
It was like very suddenly after the rest of the trip traveling with us, you were trying very hard to be a little bit apart.
Okay.
And especially once we got to the college, you seemed definitely were off on your own, doing your own thing.
You wanted to stay in the town. Vander was like, no, you must come with. And you were very angry at him.
Did I want to stay in the town because I felt that I was going to draw too much attention to you all?
Yes.
Yeah, I bitched about that too.
Those were the words. Yeah.
And then, I don't know, the little bit I saw of Era and Vander was definitely something strange had happened, but that wasn't my place to comment on because sometimes relationships are just like that, you know?
Yeah.
And we kind of caught her because a few of us were studying in the library trying to find things out.
Mm-hmm.
She and I both stayed the entire evening,
Okay.
and when we found her in the morning, she had very visibly not slept. Like, her eyes were all wrong for an elf.
Oh. Kind of fascinating that she got everything else right, but missed that small detail. Then again, props on picking it up.
For as much as she tried to avoid touch, she didn't avoid that because she felt different too. I realize how that sounds.
Sweetheart.
Straight face, sipping tea.
Sweetheart. Shut up, sweetheart.
He was the
When you say that she felt different.
Yes, I guess, well, there's no way to not say it now. I try
I
to
mean,
mean
if
it in a
you
more
had sex with
legitimate-
her, like I understand.
Did they? I don't know.
No,
Okay.
it's not. No.
I think it was
The only
kiss.
night
Yeah.
we were here, she was in the library.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
And you, yes.
And I wouldn't do that to you, no. Without consent and talking about it prior, but no, they only kissed.
Yeah. Like she would avoid touching me and like the normal stuff that you and I do with how close we are.
Oh, she wasn't physical?
Yeah, she avoided being physical.
She
and-
says sitting in your lap.
Yeah, she avoided being as physical as possible, but of course, given the nature of our relationship, she couldn't really get around that entirely, I guess.
So she knew something would be detected if you mean the way that I interpret that is you're saying that she avoided being physical because you could have figured it out faster.
My assumption is that, and also maybe to not impede or something, or maybe she wasn't herself comfortable with it.
Maybe. I mean, she made out with me for 15 minutes. 10, 15
God.
minutes. It was voracious.
Nice wallpaper.
Sorry, just I didn't realize it wasn't you either, but I also was an emotional wreck and my mind was shut off.
I can't blame you for going or doing that.
I mean, if you
don't
wanted to
blame
blame me, I would give you some anger for that, but like I legitimately did not know it was you. But like I said, it was a pouring, storming night. My head was not exactly where it should have been with how upset I was about and worried about you. And then I got pinned against a tree and kissed a bunch. So I think I should probably get a little bit of slack for that. But
I'm not
like,
mad at you at all.
I know.
You were
I
both
just,
deceived, it's fine.
yeah.
remembers that her face felt.
That's what I was.
Wait, what?
So when I would be able to touch her, she felt different. Like you. Like
Leaving
when-
all the horrible jokes I could make right now aside with the way that you phrase that, what do you mean felt different?
So like well, literal sense, when I touch her cheek, I could feel there's an illusion there, pretty much.
Oh, so she's not a shape changer.
I don't think
It
so.
seemed to be magical, yes.
It's some kind of an illusion. It's skin deep, literally.
Mhm.
I can do similar, but not quite so strongly.
So wait, what?
She'll disguise self back to look like a normal human.
Oh, that's what you meant. Sorry, I completely misunderstood. Yes, of course. So then you're saying you reached out, touched my cheek, and it wasn't like the texture that you remember.
Mm.
Okay, fascinating.
That's how I started to feel like this isn't right, but
Okay.
I didn't deduce it was an entirely different person until Sani noticed.
Okay. I mean, she's good, obviously. So she just made out with you and nobody else?
As far as I know.
Hang out with me.
I'm assuming that you didn't catch it either because of the kissing.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Good, that makes two of those. So, felt different, bags under her eyes, definitely signs of sleep deprivation that wouldn't present typically in an elf. Those were the big red flags that you've.
Right.
Then you confronted her?
That made me suspicious, and I don't know if I've told you about this. I have some connection to anyone I can touch. I can feel their emotions, sometimes a little bit of their thoughts.
I've heard of such abilities, yeah.
Yeah, I got suspicious, and I put a hand on her, and she was incredibly anxious, and like as soon as we were confronting her, it was very much that, oh, this has gone wrong feeling.
Okay. So yeah, then you pretty much had her dead to rights at that point.
Yes, we were in the middle of a library in a, very prestigious university that we still needed help with, so
Yes.
Sandra and I took her back to the rooms to talk, and I got thrown into a hold person spell, and then the two of them talked for a minute.
I see.
And then we all had a dinner.
It's fine. Okay, we can tackle the dinner. Also,
You had what?
outside of what we did with Era, we also may have cleared all of the magical tracking off of everybody. Let's take this subject off Era for a second.
Pretty big piece. That's important to tell her.
We'll get to the dinner.
Yeah.
The dinner's got more to it than that.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we also, that's when Vander sent you the sending. That seemed to maybe not have gotten all the way across.
I've heard seems to be something wrong with the magic. I heard his voice and saw like a weird flash of his face, and like the message was very garbled.
There were side effects to getting the tracking cleared off of everybody.
What tracking?
So, we told you about the hag, yes?
Yeah.
There were pieces of her shattered stone clinging to us invisibly. They were amplifying the presence of magic going through us in the weave in such a way that someone who knew how to look could follow us, or know what spells we were casting, or listen in on ascending.
So you had hag energy, hag magic, hag whatever, floating around you this entire time that I've known you, pretty much.
Yes.
At least it was just that.
Yes, and Esperos was going to make a scroll for me, so if we find the others who are with us for that event, we can purge them as well.
So yeah, we
found
just
out.
had some wild magic side effects. So when he sent a sending to you, it went a little screwy. He was covered in lavender. I had a tail for a little while. Like,
That's why you smell like lavender. Why were you covered in lavender?
Because of the wild magic.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. No, it didn't seem like a real sending, and even though I tried to reply to it, I thought it was just Era messing with me more. So
And
They're legitimate.
I was too tired, and all of my magic was pretty much spent. So
this also kind of explains what happened to you.
what?
Matilda was around when that happened as well.
And-
She would have been marked.
And me sending the sending in the hag.
Would have triggered it, and that is likely why the magic found you.
That is something I never considered. Wow.
That's why I almost died.
Yeah, because
Wow.
because of Cree.
Wow. You bitch.
Holy shit.
Nat's out there watching. We're just like, oh. We love you, Nat.
And we found out that someone named Atet was tracking.
that would be
Yeah,
that part's not surprising.
she's aware of Batet.
So I won't have the synergy on me then, I assume, right?
You shouldn't, but we might want to check anyway because they
might as
did
well.
have access to you, and we have made contacts with some divination and enchantment professors here who have been very helpful with us. So
There's an absolutely adorable professor who is going to like read your energy and stuff like that, or whatever.
because we were
All right.
when we thought Sarah was you, we had made some appointments and inquiries, and then when she kind of made
Turned
some
out not to
mistakes,
be.
yeah.
All right. So we have some appointments then today.
Well, then we had dinner.
Then we had dinner.
I
Right,
still
Vander?
don't
We
feel
did.
that impacts our appointment.
So,
I'm just.
We
now's
know
the
why
time to talk
Era
about
was so interested in showing up in person.
Mhm.
She didn't tell us the specific things she was trying to look into, but she also wanted to recruit us.
to be anti-heroes. As a simple way to put it.
She claims to be part of some kind of organization that is attempting to dissuade people from wanting to be heroes.
It's saying that the governments and powers of the world do not deserve them. But, who gives a shit about those anyway? It's just, if there are no heroes, what happens to other people?
There are so
And
many
she
nuances.
also mentioned some things about what the world was like before the Xiphoid.
The-
That
Common history may not be correct.
And also that Edwin is a part of their organization.
Edwin, yes.
Was.
Edwin was a part of their organization.
But
A
like
rogue.
a rogue. Yeah.
So, as you can see, she was trying very hard to win people over to her side.
She very much wanted to trying to convince us that. In fact, she gave us gifts. That's
Well,
the
she gave
scroll.
them
She didn't get anything, which is weird.
Hey, maybe mine's still to come.
Really, Gus?
Said that as deadpan as I
Yeah.
Vander did see her hand a note.
So let me get this straight as best I can. She invited you to dinner. You had dinner.
No.
We
Invited
No,
Vander.
yeah,
Invited her
Vander
to
set
dinner
up
to
the
talk.
dinner.
Looks up at Vander.
She look. She had the two of us, as you put it, dead to rights. Yes.
Yeah.
I was under a hold spell, and he was just sitting like on a mattress. If she wanted to kill us, nothing was going to stop her.
No, considering she had me dead to rights in the most vulnerable position I've ever been in, which is part of why I'm so angry. I'm not actually mad that she employed that tactic as a tactic. I don't care about that. It's just my guard could not have been lower in that moment. So if she wanted to run a sword through my ribs and finish me, she could have killed me. She could have pinned me to that tree with a fucking sword, and that's the end of my life. And she didn't, which is weird,
And
given who I am.
I mentioned being able to feel things from people when I touch them. She is very convinced she is doing good things, enough that it manifests through that.
That's
Did she-
why I
did
think
she-
she's.
That she reads that way?
As far as I could tell, yes. There are ways to disguise that. Maybe she was employing one,
Maybe.
but it could also just be that she has such a zealous belief in her cause that she really does think that her goal is good.
It could be.
Hmm.
What were you saying?
Oh, she said it pretty well. It's just that she is maybe blinded by her beliefs. She generally believes what she is doing is good.
I mean, she might be a fanatic then of a very specific cause. We had reports up for a while after Glister Fizz, the Glister Fizz incident, I guess, but after Glister Fizz caused such a panic around the world, there's been plenty of reports of adventuring academies and adventurers guilds suddenly having less members and people not being interested in adventuring anymore, most likely tied to the Glister Delight. And when I was in Vinzor, there were more reports of it in the city, with the Haven Snouts being plagued by, a sudden wave of recruits not wanting to fight.
That was her.
I put that together, yes.
Well, she specifically said that
Oh,
the
she owned
creator
up to it.
is part of their group.
Part of the person that, of course. I mean, that checks out. But she could have killed a head of state, and she didn't. She could have killed me, and that would have made international waves. Not to mention, I'm sure she could have turned my head in for multiple rewards. So the fact that she had me, like no other person has ever had me in my life that vulnerable, which is just, I gotta give it to her for that, I suppose. The fact that she didn't kill me says something, and the fact that she apparently could have done the same to all of you and had dinner with you, this is not as
It's
straightforward as I thought.
No, I mean,
Real
really,
weird.
like, even if she didn't kill us, like, she could have easily gotten Vander and I over to a death, who would have been quite happy to have us in her care.
Exactly. So she's still playing at her own game, believes what she thinks to be true, and there's still things to be revealed about this player in the game.
That is what it is looking like, yes.
Mhm.
And then she brings us these things, trying to, as she said she wanted to recruit us, that these would make things be evidence of her point of view. I don't understand it yet, but I don't trust it either.
Well, I don't know about you all, but I think that we're going to have to think about this, and I say get through the day with these appointments that you've set up, and we can figure out what we're doing at the end of the day. And I'm sure there might be more that you need to catch me up on. Right now, for reference, it's probably about, it's still early in the morning, like 8 or 9. Is there a specific time that we have to go to these things? Because my head is pounding and I would love to take a nap before we have to do anything.
And
Clementine said she's available all day.
yes, if you want to rest for a bit, I have some more things to study, and I kind of want to get a couple other books from the library while we're here.
All right. Anything else urgent?
We did not mention the Zyphoid.
What about the Zyphoid?
Yeah,
We
what about
kind
the
of touched on that, but
Era's specific claim is that the Zyphoid did not bring magic, it brought magic back. Something had intentionally suppressed it before.
and that the Zyphoid's arrival was also not a fluke.
That it was. So magic existed before somehow it went away somehow, and the Zyphoid was brought here intentionally?
Yeah.
Specifically, there was like the treetop wild magic in the world, and the governments of the world
I
suppressed
mean,
it.
it makes sense, at least to me.
I mean, I haven't heard of treetop wild magic. I've heard stories of what people believed back in the day was like the beginnings of magic before the Zyphoid, but just in books when I was a kid.
Yeah, that.
I mean,
But that's a large claim to be made. I've never heard it made on. I've heard crackpot theories because people love to talk about what life was before the Zyphoid and where it came from, but I've never heard this specific take on it.
I mean, if we do go to my temple, I mean, the claim of the priesthood is that our gods are older. If this is true, maybe there is something there.
I mean, I worship a farmer that was squished by a giant rock from space and given godlike powers. So I'm not going to judge anybody for who they worship, and I will wait until new evidence is presented to tell me otherwise. It sounds far-fetched, but given the current track record that we have for this woman, as much as we might hate certain things that she's doing or has done, she weirdly has a streak of irrefutable truth for the moment.
It could be that even if she is correct, she has come to the wrong conclusions from it, is what I'm thinking.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too, or hoping, at least in this case. So, nothing else that's super urgent,
I don't think so.
No.
and all of you are okay as can be. I don't see any injuries that I can pick out.
Yes. I'm worried, but I'm okay.
That's how I feel right now. I'm worried about a lot of things, and yeah, I was going to put up a bit of a fight when we got to the university about not coming up here, but it sounds like she already had that fight, and I think I'm over that now after my really rough night in the forest. So, as long as you're all okay with having me up here, and I'm not going to be burden, I think that I really need a couple hours of sleep.
You have not once been a burden.
And you're
The actual
technically
you.
officially checked in, and nothing was made of it.
Oh, she signed in as me?
Yeah, the signature is a little vague.
Oh, well, there's that. And thank you. It's complicated. But hey, would you mind taking a nap with me, or at least holding me while I took a nap?
Sure, I have some reading to do.
Okay, that would be great. If you don't mind, I can always just fuck off and do it myself too.
read to her from the book like a bedtime story.
You break out the Tilner Mullen book.
Yeah,
That's exactly what he's reading.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to
He
read you a
brings
tale
up
about the Tiller with the
Mullen.
what? I assume you're going to read it quietly to
Yeah,
yourself.
to
Oh,
himself.
you are
Great, 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 great.
All right. Well, with that, Sick is slowly going to climb out of Vander's lap.
Oh my goodness.
He's okay. Stands up, stands up and walks into the other room, leaving the door open. And she picks the bed near the window and just flops on it in a pile of fabric and curls up into a small ball. And immediately, like as soon as you break from the group, go over, get your book, lay down next to her and start reading, she is asleep. And you know that because you hear snoring, like really light, soft snoring, but she just gone. Anything else as you guys wrap up for the session?
I mean, while we're waiting, Alil's just gonna crack open the book.
And start looking through it.
Start reading the book.
The delayed activation curse activates. I always get you with that one.
knew it.
It just takes a certain amount of openings to unlock.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
never the first
yeah,
opening.
Hey, you can't do it on the first opening.
Yeah,
then nobody would fall for it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a randomized D100 roll.
I love those.
All right. So, well, yeah, but just really quickly, we know what Vander's going to be doing for the next couple hours, reading while staying next to the sleeping Skalea. What are you guys going to do with your morning before your appointments and stuff? Are you just going to mingle and kind of stay around the rooms? Anything? Because it sounds like you're gonna be reading.
I'm gonna read a book.
What about you two?
Sonny wants to go to the library to kind of take a break from this particular topic dive and just find something that's not related to any of this stupid bullshit to study instead for a little bit.
That sounds super
Just
fair
kind
and
of a palate
understandable.
cleanser.
That sounds super fair and understandable. So,
Studying botany.
And well, actually, specifically, she starts looking for texts on studies of how bardic magic works.
Oh, cool.
completely different topic. The nice palate cleanser. What about you, Cass?
Cass is going to find out where Professor Sinon's office is and have a chat.
Oh,
But what happened to buddy system?
yeah. What happened to Buddy's wisdom?
The chat.
Okay. Well, tune in. Tune in the future to see how that chat
Go with you.
goes, because that chat probably not going to go as well as Cassiana thinks. But thank you all for joining us for another episode of Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern. Thank you to our new viewer that stopped by tonight. Any other new viewers out there that came by? Thank you to our veteran viewers that have been here for some time with us. We appreciate you. We love you, and we love being able to share our nerdy little stories with you as well. Reminder for scheduling purposes, next week we are not going to be on the air live, but we will be streaming one of our pre-recorded one-shots that we've been dying to share with you all. And that Sunday we are probably going to be recording, like a Bard Out of Hell, to stream in the future for your enjoyment as well. And we have a bunch of Halloween programming coming up, so please keep an eye out for that on our Discord. Please join our Discord, so come say hi, hang out. But in the meantime, we hope that you have a really great week and a very spooky week, because we are now in spooky season. And yeah, we'll see you next time on Mythical Family and PDT. Bye!